It's showtime.
In the world where critics roam, they take the movies to their throne. But we're here to break the mold. Media literate, behold. Every flick and every show, we dissect to let you know. Not with grace or high IQ, but with fun and laughter too. Media literate, we're the voice. No need for wisdom, just your choice. Popcorn in hand, take the ride. We'll guide you all through the tide.
I don't know, Ross. I don't know anymore.
It's all good, baby. We're on
Freaking
Coltrane.
Superman. Coltrane's dead, Ross.
What?
Huh?
What?
Coltrane,
Oh no, he's dead too.
Dom did die. You know who's
Along with
not?
his wife.
You know who's not dead?
Who?
Superman.
He sure isn't.
You know, I was thinking about starting this with like the faster than a speeding bullet. Jump higher than a tall building. Was it stronger than a speeding train or whatever? Stronger than a locomotive. It's Superman. Yeah, the massive Superman movie came out. You know, I talked a lot about the meta of why Superman matters and stuff. I don't really want to do that with the media literate. We do that maybe near the end or something like that. If you want a bit more like general discussion about Superman, go look for that on the general podcast. This is like our concerted review to sit and talk about this film. And one of the biggest difficulties when it comes to talk about this film, and we tried after the movie came out to sit right down and talk about it. And it was
The
hard.
last episode.
Well, right. Because it's not that the movie's complicated. It's just, it's a very all over the place film.
Yeah,
And it's got a lot of problems that are hard to pin down.
Mm-hmm. It like picks up quick and is all over the place in more ways than one. So yeah, and it just kind of didn't want to stick in our brain. It was really weird.
Yeah, I just couldn't retain it in a weird way. Like literally right after the movie, I was like, what was the opening scene? Like I just couldn't remember. And it's weird to have a movie like that where it's like we watched Megalopolis, and me and Ross sat down and went over all of the details of that film. A mess of a film. But I retained all of it because it was interesting and weird and bad, but weird. I didn't retain this movie, and it's all over the place. But somehow it didn't like ingrain into my mind. So I had to sit and think about it. I had to listen to other people's podcasts to try and wrap my brain around the nonsense that was Superman. It's funny. Not trying to draw EFAPs because I didn't, or parallels to other podcasts, but EFAP my understanding did like a 7-hour stream on Superman talking about all the ins and outs of the plot.
Yeah.
And I heard one of the guys from EFAP today bring up that they talked about it just on a little podcast I listened to like an hour or something. And he said, we talked about it for 7 hours and it feels like we didn't cover all of the issues with the plot that we could have covered. Like there was so much more.
Yeah.
That we didn't discuss.
That's a good sign.
Yeah.
That is a good sign. And that's what's such a weird thing about this movie. This film is all over the place when it comes to audience reception. It is, people talk about it like it's amazing and fun and interesting. And then you get people talk about it like it's the worst film they've ever seen. It's a horrible mess. They hate it. I'm talking about Ross.
Well, I mean, I don't know why you'd say that.
Because you hated this film. You know when a movie's bad?
Hated it.
Well, when a movie's good, me and Ross sit and watch the movie, and then there's a lot of just like quietly like absorbing it. When it's bad, there's a lot of like side eyes to one another. Like, what is this? What is this crap?
A lot of mouthing. I hate this?
Just glancing at each other like, what is this? I don't understand.
And there was a lot of that during this movie.
Nice.
Yeah. What a. I don't want to color anything because this is literally just us sitting down and talking about the film. And if previous media illiterates, we've tended to be negative, but mainly because we watch a lot of really bad movies, and it's hard to it's hard to sit and talk about. Some say when you're being critical, and critical doesn't necessarily have to be negative. You're lending a critical eye to something that, by its very nature, you look for flaws or problems in a film, and you don't just sit and absorb it. And sometimes I wonder if Superman, this film, is not in its own way a turn off your brain and just accept it, like let it fall on you, let it consume you with its Superman-ness. But then I keep thinking, I don't think this is a good normie movie or an average person movie.
I would agree with you. I think I could agree with the just let it happen. Just let it unfold before you. But as we'll get to, it refuses to let you have moments with it.
Yeah.
It just refuses. And that's I think for me that's my biggest problem with it. Because I'll watch some terrible crap. I mean, I have no problem watching a terrible movie that's a spectacle or whatever. I'm just like, hey, Superman, like whatever. But it won't let me. It refused to let me. And so for that, I shall punish it.
Well, and it has moments, but then those moments, they don't spend time with those moments. They just move on. They don't. It's like moments that a movie could be about. It doesn't do that. It's just like, well, next plot, next thing, move. Keep the story going. And it's so hard to. I heard from what we got from test screenings that this movie was longer.
Yeah.
It was something like 20, 30 minutes have probably been cut out of this film. And it feels like it needed that 20 or 30 minutes, weirdly enough. I don't think it needs to be snappy and breakneck speed. I think it needs to spend time with moments that have gravity and importance to the characters and the plot. Or just, it feels like everything is just crunched together story-wise.
Mm-hmm.
It's not often, especially with a movie that you don't entirely enjoy, where you're like, well, yeah, we needed more to make it better.
Yeah, I mean, for me, this movie, the pacing was so strange right from the beginning. And I'm not saying it couldn't have worked. It could have. But to me, it definitely feels like they were trying to cram a lot into a shorter movie. They were trying not to make this a 3-hour superhero film. Which you can get away with a 3-hour superhero movie if it's like an ensemble, if you will. Which I guess kind of this is for some reason.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be. This is the first starting out fresh. And you want it to be about Superman, and boy, I guess we'll get into that, but it kind of isn't.
Well, and the beginning of this film is almost a perfect example of the problems this movie has.
Mm-hmm.
Silver, why don't you describe that exact first scene that we get with Superman?
Well, it first begins opening up with the whole, was it like 30 years ago something happened?
It was like 333
months, I forget
hours.
the exact ones.
Yeah.
But it all describes like something like leading up to Superman. Like 30 years ago, Superman arrived at Earth. 3 years ago, he made his first public appearance, and then it's like 3 seconds ago, he was defeated. And then it opens up literally on that scene you see from the trailer where he's like in the snow. No, right before Crypto shows up, all beaten up. It opens on that.
It's
him laying there beaten up. It's like, This is not how Superman should open.
Well, no, and it feels. I think storytelling, plot wise, it feels like there's a problem that you see in the rest of this movie. We are missing a lot. By the way, this is a spoilery. Media liter is always spoilery. I always worry that nobody watches these, so it's like irrelevant.
Hey, it's not entirely true.
But I always worry we're gonna like stumble in, that we're gonna get a bunch of people going like, "Oh, well, you spoiled the movie," and it's like that's the point of what we're doing. We're spoiling the movie. We're spoiling the movie.
Yeah, we're gonna spoil the crap out of it. Sorry, everybody. It's time. It's time to be spoiled.
The beginning of the movie is really strange because much like the rest of the movie, it doesn't give us time to dwell on it's like when plot points happen, move on, usher the discussion forward, get the plot going, and it's in the movie in a way does that. It's like we're not going to spend any time on the origin or explaining anything. We don't even get the beginning of this movie.
No.
We just start and we're rolling. And in a strange way, the beginning of the movie has a bunch of problems in and of itself because you're like, it feels like you're missing something.
Yes, very much so. And in addition to tone and how they're setting up the character of Superman, which could be problematic depending on how you want to view it, it very much feels like, you're just plopped right in the middle, and not in a good way, not in like a fun and exciting, like dynamic way, but in I zoned out midway through history class, and now it's the quiz kind of way.
Yeah. And I've heard a lot of people respond to complaints that it's like, well, I don't know sort of the motives of this character or what everybody's trying to do. And it's like, well, everybody knows who Superman is. And it's like, well, not everybody. Everybody's familiar with Superman. But in all fairness, this is a new Superman. This is a different guy. This isn't Zack Snyder's Superman. This isn't Christopher Reeve's Superman.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm definitely one of those, like, not every new movie has to be an origin story, but, like, you got to do something. Good God.
I mean, 5 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes. Something.
Give me a little bit of, like just a little, like his motive. I want to go out and help people. I'm gonna give me a little montage of him flying around, saving, like out of nowhere. This new man, this new superhero shows up, and he's just saving people.
That would be great.
And then you get little newspaper clips of like, who is this new Superman?
Mm-hmm. And you could use that to establish his powers, his power levels, quote unquote. Not to sound too anime, but
Well, especially when it comes to like magic, having limitations, understanding the limits of what somebody can or cannot do, helps to shape a story. So when people break limits, then you, whoa, look at what, he's doing something he can't normally do. Or there's something outside of the realm of what physically these people can do. As opposed to, we're just thrown in. Because if we got that 5-10 minutes of what motivates him, where people are like, he's just going out saving people. He's just doing good. He cares about, it's like weird articles of like, he cares about, the small and the important. Like, he's saving kittens from trees and he's stopping mass murder or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
he steps in because he cares. And then it tells us the type of person he is. And it tells us what he's capable of. Give me a moment. It would take 20 seconds of him stopping a train.
Yeah.
Or him catching a building. Or then you like, whoa, this guy's really powerful.
And they do people would argue like, well, they do that throughout the movie, but it's like, yeah, and that would be fine, except he has to share too much screen time with other characters. And I don't even mean other characters like Lois Lane, Jimmy Olsen. I mean other characters like other heroes. So it's like, it felt more like it was crammed in rather than actually establishing anything. I mean, it kind of works, but it would be better if it was earlier on,
And it's like, oh, well, that would take too much time. I mean, there are countless movies where within the first 4 or 5 minutes, you know everything about these people, what motivates them. You give me a couple pieces of dialogue, some like montages of the type of people they are just doing things, and you're good. You're perfect. And that the reason why that's a big problem is because the movie opens up with, for the first time ever, he loses a fight. And you're like, oh, so now we don't know anything about him, if he's doing good, how strong he is, how powerful he is, because internally, as people who are exposed to media, especially Western media, as somebody who's read comics myself, or anybody that's even remotely seen a Superman, we know Superman is a hugely powerful person. But that's not established. Yes. We don't get a baseline here. We don't get how big and strong and a big deal this person is. So when he loses for the first time, you're like, okay. Because we haven't seen him win.
Exactly.
We haven't seen him be the Man of Steel. He's just a guy losing.
Yeah, that's what I hated. It was like, okay, Man of Steel, powerful superhero. They even open it up with the most powerful meta-human ever. Oh, by the way, we're opening up with him nearly
losing.
Dead sitting in the snow.
Yeah.
Show don't tell. Show me he's the most powerful metahuman ever. Don't just tell me that. Don't just say, oh, well, he's amazing and awesome. All right.
Oh, is he now?
Neat.
The dog is helping him.
Yeah. Oh, that stupid dog.
Yeah, that's another thing. I realize, and people in our theater seem to like Crypto, but
a lot of people seem to like him. Yeah. Go. I'm sorry.
Yeah. He's just if you want me to like the dog, you have to show me that he's a good dog. He's a shithead. He's a shit little dog. I fucking hate him. And he reminds me of why I think most people shouldn't own pets. Like, it's just the worst. Like,
if he was a good dog in that, I might be okay with it.
Yeah.
That would be great.
And you can show him being precocious and a good dog, but no, he's just a little asshole.
We got an animated Crypto the Wonder Dog movie, if you forget.
Oh, did we?
Do you know who voiced Crypto in this animated pet superhero show?
Oh,
The
Chris
Rock.
Pratt? Okay.
The Rock?
Yeah, he was Crypto the Wonder Dog.
Can you smell what Crypto's cooking?
Well, it's like they give him like the commanding, deep voice person to be like, I am the dog version of Superman.
Oh, God.
Right, I forgot about that one.
Instead, we get a little crap dog, a little terrier kind of looking thing, and it's like, ugh.
I hate to say I've seen this movie,
but you have.
With Crypto the Wonder Dog here, I've seen it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, look who it is! I knew this was going to happen. Jace was going to stumble in like a drunken sailor, and then I was going to get belligerent because he's late. Ugh.
Things are happening.
Get your act together. How do you have a family? Are they all? Are half of your children dead in the street, and you just keep making more to replace them?
He forgets to let them in.
Let them in from the outside. Feed them water. You didn't put their bowls out. Where were we, Ross?
Crypto. He's a little shit dog, and he was voiced by Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Well, the animated
3 years ago. Yeah, not in this movie. No, that would be
thank goodness.
Far too interesting.
Well, and look, they tried to change it up in the trailers, because I watched a few of the trailers multiple times. One of them today to sort of get my mind around the movie, and the advertising was like, "Oh, Superman and stuff," And it seems like they changed up the trailers after the first couple, because like the one just before the release, it's a lot of Superman, and it's not it's almost no Crypto,
Mm.
and it's
Focus
almost
groups must
no
have-
Justice Gang or whatever. And it's like, oh, because Superman perhaps should be the main part of a Superman film. I know this is insane. We shouldn't spend an inordinate amount of time talking about Crypto the Wonder Dog. But we know why Crypto the Wonder Dog is in the movies, because James Gunn said he couldn't wrap his mind around Superman, the character, until he was able to relate it to his dog. Because we find in this movie, a lot of it is like James Gunn's personal journey in this film,
Yeah.
God.
as opposed to just
I
a
wonder
movie
if
about
that's
Superman.
why. Obviously in the comics, Crypto is depicted as the Superman version, the dog version of Superman. So he, truth, justice, the American way, and all that stuff but in a dog package. And yet the Crypto that we were treated to was definitely not that. And I wonder if some of that is because that was actually James Gunn's dog.
It might even be the same type of dog. I don't recall in the interview if we got that information. The point being, it's the dog sucks, and so when we start out with not establishing the heroics, the power, the strength, the capabilities of Superman, we just start the movie with him losing, which in and of itself is an interesting enough plot line, where the most powerful metahuman of all time loses a fight. But we don't get introspection from Superman. We don't get introspection from the world at large, thinking about, oh my gosh, Superman lost a fight. They just move on. Like, the movie could literally be about that. Like him losing a fight and then coming to terms with it and facing it, even though he lost before and he can lose again. He's still going to face the enemy. But we don't even get that as a plot line. They just move on, almost like the beginning of this movie. It's not important, just move on. And one thing yes. But it's like, wouldn't he think, would this bother him? Would this be a personal journey sort of thing where he reflects on it, or I've lost,
I mean,
I never think I could lose, or what? But it's like, no, not in this movie. Not in this Superman. Superman does it. We don't get character development. We don't get introspection. None of that. And I've heard a lot of people say, well, it's like, well, if you have a problem with, a lot of this stuff, it's like, it's the movie expects you to know who Superman is. And it's like, don't give me a movie where I'm supposed to fill in the backstory for you. Don't do that. Don't give me a piece of content where it's expected that I should have viewed like 20 other films or the TV versions or watched Smallville. Don't. That not only is that bad storytelling, but we already know that this isn't the same Superman. It's not the same guy. This is not Zack Snyder's Superman. So if you're telling me I already have to know, well, Kryptonite and, his parents and stuff. And it's like, you don't even sell me that his parents are noble people who we should care about. You don't do any of that. You just presuppose that I know this. Almost like James Gunn is like waving off any character development. And this is the second movie in a 3-movie series.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Because, like, look, I get it. Like, if anyone's going to know a superhero, Superman's probably going to be one of them. And they might even know some of his backstory. Like, okay. But the problem is, when you put that in movie form, like, the tone of the movie feels off. Like, the way the movie feels isn't right. Now, I'm not saying you got to spend 30, 45 minutes on, him living in Kansas as a kid. But you got to do something, man. Because just dropping me in the middle, especially in a not very dynamic moment, it makes the whole movie feel weird. It really does. And especially when you don't use that moment of him losing. Presumably the first time he's ever, well, it says the first time he ever lost. I mean, like you said, that would be probably a big deal to him psychologically, because what the hell's going on?
Well, and one of the biggest fights in the movie happens off screen. Like, we don't even get to see that. It's like, you're not going to show me this fight?
Technically, it's not in the movie, Red, because it happened before the movie. Thank you.
Well, it's like we were talking about this being like the second movie in a trilogy. It's almost as if the first movie ended with that previous fight, and we just don't get to see it because it was on the previous movie. It's done and gone. We've moved on from that one, and we're now on the second movie. But yeah, the thing is that I believe that some of this has come about because people are tired a little bit of seeing the superhero backstory all the time as the first movie. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying that feels like that this feels like a reaction to that sentiment.
Well, and if you were here for the beginning of it, we discussed this. And the problem I pointed out is you don't even have to have an origin story. You just need like 5 or 10 minutes of like, oh, there's a new Superman. Who is this new Superman? And he's just saving people. Suddenly a man shows up and he's just doing good. And you can show him stopping a train. You can show him saving babies. You can show him stopping someone from murdering. So you could show small crimes and big crimes that nothing is above him because he's just trying to do good. You can give us a baseline of who this man is, what motivates him, what he's trying to do, and what he's capable of. Stopping a train is like, whoa, this guy's strong. Yeah. Maybe getting hit with a missile and it doesn't faze him. That way you know how powerful he is, so that when he gets defeated, you're like, oh, how did that happen? But instead, he just starts out defeated. Right. Mm-hmm. So now that he starts out defeated, you're like, well, this guy's a wuss. And they don't even show us him being defeated.
No. Just the aftermath. Just him going to go get Band-Aids on his boo-boos.
So that he could summon the crappiest dog in world history to jump on him and injure him further, and then drag him back to the Fortress of Solitude that has quirky robots with personalities, which is the quirky robots with this. If James Gunn, if anything is James Gunn, this is James Gunn. Going back to Fortress of Solitude, where he's hanging out with robots. Who've got attitude and personalities, and I'm supposed to care. Even
though they say they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was one of the robot said, we don't have personalities. And I'm like, yeah, you do. Okay, whatever.
Seems like you do. Well, Alan Tudyk was free that weekend, so they hired him. And sure, it's a little too close to K2SO, but you know what? People liked that, didn't they? Whatever.
Yeah. He was an alien, wasn't
he? Something like that. He was in that Firefly show. He's a leaf on the wind.
Yeah, he super died. Spoilers.
Spoiler.
He was a chicken in Moana. Isn't that great?
he was a chicken. That's right.
Well, and you get this really awkward... Go ahead, Jason.
I was just going to say, when they have these voice actors that do these stupid things where they are voicing a character that doesn't have any speaking parts, seriously, can't you just go get the sound effects file? This seems like one of those opportunities to just use the canned sound effects rather than hiring someone.
No, you got to hire someone.
I saw the voice actress that does Naruto, and she's an older woman now. And they're like, oh, well, if a lot of the stuff you do, and she's like I'll do like video games and little snippets for things, and I find that I basically just keep saying the same lines I've been saying for decades now as the same character. And the guy was like, well, I mean, it's money for you. You're getting paid. And she's like, yeah, it's just funny because it's like I've said that line like 100 million times. I just got to keep doing it.
This is my life.
Now for the new video game, I'm going to do the same line over and over again, and that's Alan Tudyk. Just have him do semi-robot voice and then put him in movie. Fine. Well, and we're a bit off topic of Superman here, but then they, having been dragged back to the Fortress of Solitude in a version of Superman I've never seen, they have a concentrated light recharge thing with lenses, and so they recharge him with lenses, and then he gets reboosted, so that he can go back and fight. A few thoughts on this. One is, why does it hurt so much? Like, he's screaming when they mega light him
Yeah.
as Superman, a man who can pretty much almost fly into the sun. But then again, this is the weakest Superman in existence.
Yeah.
And number two, this changes a lot about Superman. Because previously, Superman's this big, strong guy, and he fights and defeats people. And then, or even if he loses a horrible fight with like a Doomsday or something, and maybe he flies up into space, into the sun, after almost dying, and gives himself a new chance. But instead, it's like Superman's really weak, and he just flies back and recharges and then goes back again in perpetuity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is
Or
a
shot
weird
the
version.
dog,
Well, right. It's a
chuck
weird.
him into the sun.
It's almost a video game version of Superman. He's like, well, I just need to fly back to base and
Yeah,
heal.
the
and then
robot
I'll
even
come back.
says like you're only at 83%. Like, what do you say? Like health or like
Yeah, like
83%
healed.
healed? Yeah. Like what?
Yeah, something like that.
Make sure
She's
to
out in the sun anyway.
like make sure to pick up a box with a red cross on it later.
Well,
Yeah.
well, it's like I've
And-
never seen a version of Superman where he has to like jump back constantly and heal up and then jump back into the fight. Like if
Yeah.
Superman ever heals, it's the implication of, wow, that was really, really bad. And yet he's so powerful that just a ray of sun comes in and suddenly it's like, oh, he's back. Instead of like, I got punched, fly to the sun. Okay, I'm back again. Get punched, fly to the sun, back. It's like he's picking up health containers, and this is a video game. And it's
He's
really
cheesing the boss.
well, it's really stupid because it makes him
Yeah.
seem weaker.
Yeah. By the way, hey Rhett,
Uh-huh.
you know how Earth is a spherical planet and doesn't have a perfectly like centered axis, you know?
Uh-huh.
And then we have to like revolve around the sun and all that.
It's got
You know
a
what a
little
problem
bit
with
of
having
wobble.
your healing station being in Antarctica is?
Huh.
You're gonna be real screwed come winter because it's 24-hour darkness. The hell are you gonna do?
Exactly.
Well, weird, quirky robots.
Does he have a winter home in the North Pole?
These are you know, one thing I like, because Ross makes a really good point. One thing I like to address with this movie that's actually very refreshing and that I love. For the longest time, we have been fighting against every and believe it or not, I'm exhausted by this. Every single movie has got some political messaging in it. It's quote unquote woke. It's got to have LGBTQ characters or representation or race swapping and it constantly dishonors the source material of whatever we're watching. In an almost refreshing and wonderful way, we're able to see a superhero movie and complain and bitch about how it's bad on its merits, as opposed to like, ugh. It's like, why is Lois Lane a sassy black woman? I don't. It's ugh. Do they really?
Superman.
And
Is
so,
an interesting twist in you know, like the movie narrative right now is that we're complaining about it because it's a bad Superman movie, not because of inserted politics or
Well, and
race
that's what-
swapping or gender swapping or
that's what I really liked about Ross's comment, is he's like, well, this doesn't make any sense. You don't get enough sunlight in that location. It's like, that's what I want to talk about. The stupid nerdy stuff when it comes to movies. This doesn't make any sense. why can Superman do this? The weird, like, the nerd geeky debates when it comes to the characters and the heroes. This is what I want to do. I don't want to talk about
Now,
the politics.
obviously,
I have to bring
we
it
have
up
seen-
when it happens, but I don't want
Yeah.
to talk about it.
we have seen scenes in the Snyder Superman where Superman did recharge, but that was after taking a nuclear blast to the face,
Well,
and
right.
he flew up into space.
And he was a skeleton, and then he was fine.
And
because
this,
he's
yeah,
Superman. He goes back. He gets horribly injured and goes back and gets healed twice in this movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
He does.
So it's really lame. And the weird, like, it seems like a James Gunn thing to invent, where it's like, well, we've got this light focusing thing, and it mega charges him. It's like, do you really need to do that? Is that really?
Where
You
they
know,
fry him like
can
a
he
ham
fly
in a
up?
magnifying glass. That's why
it would
hurts.
make more sense if Superman needed to overcharge and they put him under that, and it was like he was already charged by the sun up to full power, but he needs to be 200%, and that's why it's painful to him, because it's hard to contain that much energy, as opposed to what they did, where it was like, well, this is going to be a healing ray, and for some reason the healing ray is going to hurt him.
There have been versions of Superman where they overcharged him in the comics.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but then he gets mega charged with his crap dog. And then he's like, I gotta go back to the fight, everybody. They're like, no,
we
you
see
can't.
that Crypto has ruined the Fortress of Solitude. He's destroyed.
Oh yeah,
things.
the scolding the dog.
Yeah.
And it's like, this relationship with this stupid dog. I get it, James Gunn. You had a crappy dog once and you're talking about it. Oh, Crypto's... And you know what's the biggest danger with Crypto, the Wonder Dog? Him being a crappy dog? He's Kryptonian and could destroy the world.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yes, like just rips people apart.
So wouldn't you be consumed with training this dog as opposed to like, oh, my dog's just... He's just quirky. And it's like, oh, with his Kryptonian powers, I bet he has laser eyes. Wouldn't that be fun with a dog with laser
his
eyes?
heat vision and
Well, like it's literally like the epitome of the pit mommy. You know, it's named Cupcake and it's ripped off like 5 toddlers' faces.
But he's my baby. I love him.
But he's my baby. He's my little house hippo. Like, no, he's a monster. Get it away from me.
Superman should snap that dog's neck. He's too dangerous to be left alive.
I mean, honestly, like, come on, Val.
Like that dog plays with him rough. Imagine him doing that to an average person. I kept waiting almost
normal
with pins
person.
and needles the whole movie, hoping that dog didn't jump on a normal person and splat them into nothing.
Oh.
Just a bag of broken bones.
Yes. Well, it's like there was a scene where the dog's trying to play with a cow, and it's like he's going to murder that cow. And then Superman is like, I got to take Crypto out of here. He's going to kill all my parents' cows. And I was like, oh, so it's a legitimate concern.
Yes.
It's an actual concern because that dog sucks so much that he might murder all the cattle on a farm because he's just a shitty dog.
But he's so cute.
No, he's not. He's not cute. But they did it because they thought audiences would love it. He's quirky. He's fun. James Gunn had a dog once. And if you think this is weird that I keep bringing up, he literally said he put Crypto in because he had a dog that had problems. That used to bite his feet. And guess what? Crypto bites his feet in this movie.
Yeah.
Because James Gunn can't relate to a genuinely good person. He has to go in a weird roundabout way.
Yeah, through a dog. Oh, God.
He doesn't know how to
dog.
be a strong, positive, masculine figure. He has to make him quirky and innocent and kind of dumb.
I wonder if there's anybody in Hollywood right now who could write good straight up Superman movie.
Not that's in any position to do so.
That's kind of what I was feeling.
I
I
mean,
mean,
there
I
are
was
comic
just
book
sitting there
writers
and
that could do
thinking,
it.
yeah, there's some comic book writers who could. I'm just sitting there thinking, if we had like a Booster Gold and Blue Beetle movie, that would be James Gunn kind of thing.
Booster Gold more
Yeah.
than Blue Beetle, but James Gunn is quirky. He's counterculture. He's revolutionary.
Mm-hmm.
He likes the ensemble cast. He likes the weird characters like a Thing. You know what
Oh,
I mean?
yeah.
Like he likes
Mm.
those guys.
Well,
Like
he's
James Gunn might actually do a good
planning to
job.
do The Authority.
James Gunn might actually. Well, that's been pushed off way down the road because things are not going as well. But
Right.
the point is, James Gunn would do a good job with maybe a Justice League movie with an ensemble cast. But with just a Superman movie where he has to focus on developing the one guy and give him character development and tell us why we should give a shit about Superman. Well, he kind of struggles with that because one thing they usually say when you write, if you're trying to write like an evil genius, you can't write him smarter than you are because you're incapable of doing that. He can't come up with clever
Right.
ideas if you can't come up with clever ideas. And James Gunn can't come up with clever Superman with noble, good, masculine, positive Superman because he's not that guy. He's not.
Yeah.
No, no. Shut up, Google.
You know who we should have had instead of James Gunn make this movie? Someone
Oh.
who would have been perfect. You don't remember that Indian Superman Spider Woman?
Oh yeah. You know what though? He understood Superman, at least the masculine side of Superman, a little better than
Yeah.
James Gunn did.
Mm.
Even
Let's
though
hire that guy.
canonically it was all over the place.
Yeah.
They don't even exist in the same universe.
Nope. Oh my gosh, did it.
I mean, lore wise, it's just completely wrong. Superman's not. I think it was Turkish too, but he's not Turkish.
Oh, was it?
Where's Ma and Pa Ymir or whatever? Yeah, so he flies back to fight the Hammer of Baravia. The guy who beat him. This new small crap Eastern European country has a hero who's more powerful than Superman, a metahuman, if you will. And it's just
Yeah.
a guy in a giant armored outfit that kind of reminds me of Juggernaut,
Yeah, I was gonna say,
A little
yeah, the
bit, yeah.
Juggernaut suit. That's totally not the Juggernaut.
but a super
You're
Juggernaut.
ahead.
This begins the James Gunn camera angles and big fights thing, which I'm not a huge fan of him just spinning the camera around constantly. I don't know about
Yeah.
you.
It wasn't my favorite, and there's a later fight scene where it's especially egregious. I mean,
Yeah.
just to the point where it's like, hey, this would have been really cool, but I really didn't get to see any of it, so never mind, I guess.
Well, just
It's all
show me what's
blurred.
happening.
Yeah.
Show me. Show me what's happening. What's happening? They did
Yeah.
that a bit with like Batman Begins, where they're and I remember the director being like, "Well, fights are chaos," and it's like, "Well, yeah." But if I'm
Not
in the fight,
Terminator.
then you're just going to show flashes of fists and elbows, and it's like,
Yeah.
I kind of want to see Batman.
Yeah, and granted, those movies, I mean, that movie was probably very heavily by the Bourne films, just right around the same time.
yeah.
I was gonna say that was one of the things that I didn't like about the Bourne films was the way that they did the fight choreography because you could barely tell what was going on in the fight, and with
Thanks,
the way
Paul
that
Greengrass.
you had all those, yeah, or the way
Or
you had all
Oliver Wood.
those cuts, you could tell that they weren't doing like a fluid one shot kind of fight scene. It was obviously cobbled together from, let's do one punch here and then we reset, and then we do another punch here and then we do a reset, and then they cut it all together and it was a chaotic mess. And it's like, yeah, it's for the person in the fight, chaotic mess. Yes, gotcha. For the people watching the fight, we should be able to tell what's going on.
Now, what Superman was missing is guys in kung fu outfits in the background just moving back and forth and moving their arms around, just to make it seem like action is happening when nothing is happening. But yeah, he fights the Juggernaut, or Hammer of Baravia, and he kicks the crap out of him. And we immediately know what's going on because as he flies back into the fight, we have our Holt Lex Luthor in a command center that Superman can't hear or can't see, even though it's right there, watching the fight scene as Lex Luthor is basically video game controlling the Hammer of Baravia in order to beat Superman, because Lex Luthor is so smart, he studied all his moves. He is Cage in Mortal Kombat. He's like, I studied your moves, and he's yelling out commands like they're buttons on a controller.
God, it's so dumb.
A1, D12,
10Y. No.
Double jump.
B.
quarter circle back.
And that's how they're defeating Superman, is Lex Luthor studied him, he knows all his moves, and he can, despite the clear problem of observing event, responding to event, and then giving commands so that he can go, oh, I'll do this command. Like the much slower time it would take to do that, as opposed to just reaction time of responding to a punch and return it and that sort of thing. Making no sense whatsoever that you could command a fight like that.
This is a superhuman we're talking about. So his reaction times and his reaction speeds, or his action speeds, not just reaction times, but his action speeds are way, way beyond normal human abilities. So Lex Luthor sitting there going, yeah, he's gonna use this move, so I'm gonna use this one instead. And they're not going to be able to transmit those fast enough to the guy to get anywhere. Superman would take him apart while he's waiting on Lex Luthor to tell him what to do.
I tried doing that with Silver while we're playing Elden Ring, because I was watching her trying to beat a guy, and I was like, oh, he's going to do this attack, and it's like it happens too fast for me to really let her know accurately enough. It's like, oh, he's doing this. It's like, no, you just need to respond in a reaction sort of way. So it makes no sense that he could do this. But in the logic of the show, he knows all his moves, and he could tell him what to do by controlling him like a video game character, I guess. With his diverse team of Silicon Valley tech people on monitors doing vaguely something on the screens.
Yeah, like it's like they all have control, and they're all controlling like drones for them to see, and then input the commands to the.
Well, and he does this later, and not to skip ahead, but clearly Superman knows that Lex Luthor can see him through these drones. I was like, why doesn't he just destroy all the drones? Like, I don't understand why he doesn't he has laser eyes and moves faster than the speeding bullet. He can just go beep, and then the drones are gone. But no one thinks to do that. So he gets to the fight with the Hammer of Baravia, and the Hammer of Baravia beats the crap out of him, and he ends up falling in a hole. And we get our local falafel maker to help him out of a hole, because he's very important plot wise to this movie. That falafel maker.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. So as it turns out, he will, and we see the dastardly Lex Luthor identify. That'll come in handy later.
Yeah.
Can I
go ahead?
Well, I was just going to say, since we've now seen Lex Luthor, I just want to say that I like Nicholas Hoult as a man. I think he's a good actor, man.
I agree.
But gonna just be honest, and we'll delve more into it as we go along. Did not like his Lex Luthor that much.
You know, I thought about Corn Sweat Superman, and I think I've come to a conclusion I actually very much like his acting as Superman. I think the issues I have with him as a character are the writing that they have him do.
Yeah.
Because I think Cornsweet comes across as pure and innocent and kind and the big blue Boy Scout. It's just a problem when
Yeah.
it's like he's pathetic. It's like, oh, because they wrote that in.
Yeah,
This
they
is
wrote
pathetic.
it terribly.
So I don't blame Cornsweet for any of the Superman problems. And with Nicholas Hoult is a little different. There are problems with the writing and inconsistencies with how they have his actor or his character play, but also his character doesn't have the masculine sort of in charge presence that he does classically as Lex Luthor. He comes across more as a shill, petty, like a-hole.
yeah,
and
he's
I
like-
don't care for it.
Yeah, he's like constantly on the edge of like having a freak out.
Just crashing
You want to know
out.
something
Like the-
funny?
Petty
What's that?
kid with money.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to know something funny? There's another actor in this movie who could have played Lex Luthor great. You wouldn't know it because he's under a lot of makeup,
Uh,
but it's the guy that plays Metamorpho.
oh, who is it?
Oh.
His name's Anthony Kerrigan. And if you look up a picture of him, he could play Lex Luthor.
You know,
He has alopecia, like alopecia totalis, so he has no hair.
oh,
Like
interesting.
at all.
You know, I'm not making a political statement in any way,
Yes.
but instead of a Donald Trump, which what we should have gotten, like a overly masculine business guy with money or whatever, and then make him evil. I know people are going to be like, oh, Donald Trump is evil. I'm not talking about any of this. That's a sort of villain we should have gotten as a Lex Luthor, but instead we got more of a shrill, over, like, I know everything and I'm super smart, like a Elon Musk sort of.
Yeah, like a tech bro.
Yes. And I was like, I don't like that
Yeah.
as our villain.
He's too Silicon Valley.
Not making any political statements, but he comes across more of a Musk, and we probably should have had be more of, even if it's bravado, and more of a Trump character.
Well, and you know what? Not to reference things that are deconstructions of Superman. Even though I've never watched the show, I've seen enough of it to know. The Boys, the gentleman who runs the company Vought, he that's kind of the energy I'd want, like serious business guy.
Yes. Maybe he's had all the success and he thinks he can do anything and get away with it, and he's at the top of the heap, and he's smarter than everybody, and he's literally crawled his way through grit, backstabbing, determination, intelligence, bullying, and all of these things, and then he sees somebody show up that can just cast him aside like nothing, and that's what bothers Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I could do all of this, and I've earned all of this, and this guy shows up, and he's better than me. And it angers
Yeah, you know, I was just thinking, Rhett, you know, because you said, like, not less tech bro and more. I realized what kind of business guy he should be.
Oh, yeah.
He should be a defense contractor business guy.
Oh, sure.
Which he's kind of
Yeah.
supposed to be in this movie, but
and
like the
non-charming
attitude
Tony
is not
Stark.
that way. Yes, he should be like scary. Like he's the young up and comer who took over Raytheon or whatever. Like something scary like that.
Who was that? I'm always bad with names. In the first Iron Man, his business partner, who was bald and had the beard.
Dane.
Jeff Bridges.
Yes,
Obadiah
he should have been
Stane.
more like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Because Luthor's such an interesting character, but he's kind of petty and whiny. It's
Yes.
almost like you expect him to like start jumping up and down and pounding his fist, being like, "I'm angry," and it's like,
No.
it's not working out the way I want it to. Ugh. Yeah, it just. And they don't give him any gravitas where it's like, oh, he's got everything figured out and he's 10 steps ahead of Superman. And it's almost like Superman just isn't paying attention, and Lex Luthor is just like, I'm do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
Superman
Hey-
loses. What's that?
Hey, Rhett. I'm a guy who doesn't really like comic books or superheroes. In fact,
Oh, as
Superman's my favorite one. This is
Superman-
well established.
Superman is your favorite character?
Least favorite.
Oh, okay.
But I have a question, and here's the problem with not establishing the powers and their capabilities at all.
Sure.
Wouldn't he be able to hear the earpiece telling Big
Yes.
Dummy to hit him?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Well, there's a weird situations in this. Well, that's the problem here. We haven't set what Superman is capable of, so we're all just sitting here going like,
Oh, and we missed the engineer walking towards the Fortress of Solitude as he returns
Yes.
back to the battle, which he absolutely should have been able to see her, but whatever,
Not only
hear
see,
her,
but hear.
or hear her anything.
Like he can hear Lois Lane's heartbeat from across the planet, and he can't
Yeah.
hear Lex Luthor whisper under his breath.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Uh,
Nothing. Did you get on camera? It's like, oh, Superman.
sucks.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, we missed the fact that when he flew back to fight the Hammer of Bravia, the engineer, this chick with nano robots on her, is trying to get to this Fortress of Solitude because apparently this is all set up so that James Gunn, Lex Luthor, could figure out where the Fortress of Solitude is, and then it descends into the Earth. That's why it's hard to find, is because it only shows up there when Superman's around, and she can't get in there because it's got some security thing. Because you have to be Superman, I guess. You have to have his DNA. And Lex Luthor's like, no, it's fine. We figure out where it is. Get back here. So they accomplish their goal to figure out where the Fortress of Solitude is. And Superman loses to the Hammer of Baravia, the fictional Eastern European country that's not an analog for any other conflicts. Yeah, and things aren't going so well for him, so he's got to limp back home. Now, I'm struggling to remember the course of events. Does he just end up at Lois's? No,
He ends up at work.
He ends up at
Yeah.
work. Is that the same day? It's hard to tell.
Well,
I think it's the next day.
Did he have the day off? Is it somebody like, where does he go?
Yeah.
The only moment we get to see him at the Daily Planet, the most iconic place where Superman. Because one thing to point out, which is my favorite part about Superman, is despite everything he can do, he wants to be a normal person. He wants to live a normal life. And it's like a guy capable of becoming Emperor of Earth is not interested in it. With everything he can do, he chooses to do good and to keep his identity a secret. And it's not even the Spider-Man motivation of like, well, if people I care about will be hurt. It's like, no, he just wants to be Clark. Superman is like the aspirational part. Clark is just the insecure, normal guy that he really is on the inside. Superman is the I'm putting away all pretense of being normal. And Clark is a great, much like when you get with superheroes, it's like the real person is the secret identity sort of thing. Like Clark Kent is really who Superman is. And, however, the problem is that Bruce Wayne is not who Batman is. Batman is who Batman is.
Yeah, Batman is the secret identity.
Yeah, that's who he is.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he has the really awful broccoli hair, which I hate. And he goes up to the Daily Planet. I really like the look of the Daily Planet. and they didn't really sell. Unlike Brandon Routh in Superman Returns, they didn't really sell very well the why he blends in. It kind of works. He's too quirky and stumbly because it's like you blend into the background, but then if you're too quirky and stumbly, then you don't blend in. People notice you
Yeah.
by fumbling around to get to your desk.
Not too much.
Yeah, I like the look of the Daily Planet, the big room with all the desks and stuff. I thought it looked pretty good.
Yeah. Looks good.
And apparently
We
everybody.
also have a scene.
What's that?
We also have a scene in here where Lex Luthor is talking to some U.S. government people. He's talking to, is it Colonel or is it General Bragg in this, or General Flag in this one?
It's
But he's
general.
talking to some
I think
some-
he's applied to be the Secretary
a bunch of
State,
dudes,
or
Oh,
Secretary of Defense. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
and he demands that they allow him to take custody of Superman with his Planet Watch group. And that's when we get introduced to Ultraman and the Engineer, and he has a whole bunch of armored soldiers that
So-
are part of this Planet Watch group.
Raptors.
We do get revealed
Yeah, the Raptors.
eventually. Now I'm spoiling our conversation, but it was Ultraman inside of Hammer of Baravia, and the reason why
Yeah.
this is important is because we get introduced to Ultraman and then he's there and stuff. So the audience knows that, oh, he's the guy that beat Superman. He's this big dangerous guy. He's being
Yep.
controlled by Lex Luthor, yada yada yada. Outside of that context, nobody brings up where in the hell is Hammer of Baravia.
Yeah, there's like no
Especially
And they
when he
don't-
defeats Superman. They're like, oh, what happened to that guy?
yeah. And
Wasn't there even a scene where the president of Baravia was like, I don't know who this dude is? I was like, what? We thought he was with you.
Who was that guy that defeated Superman? Where'd he go? The guy in the
Yeah,
big
Dangerous
armor?
be-
yeah, which is like one of the problems,
Don't
tone.
think about it,
is
keep
a-
moving. Don't dwell.
Yeah, it's just one of the problems that I have with this movie, where there's just like tone issues, where it's like, hey, we want to have like grounded things like Superman intervening in a war across the planet and the implications of that, but no one's going to talk about the metahuman terrorist.
Well, and we're not there yet, but there's a lot to talk about with that. But he's at he's at the Daily Planet, and Lois Lane is there, and she's like, "Oh, what about these quotes from Superman? Or what about this, and this?" And he quotes stuff from Superman and then she's like, so Superman speaks to you all the time about all these little things, and he's like, yeah. He gets scoops and stuff, and then it's like it is dumb and suspicious that Clark Kent gets exclusive. Like, if anybody should have exclusive information about Superman, it should be Lois, and Clark should be as under the radar as possible. He's pulling like the Spider-Man thing, where it's like, where did Peter Parker get these amazing pictures of Spider-Man, where you would have to be 5 stories up on the side of a building to take that picture? No, I don't know. I'm just really good. And it's like,
Weird.
Oh, it's weird. That's suspicious, Clark. How'd you get these amazing adjustable quotes to re-clarify what you're trying to do as Superman? And then we're introduced to a bunch of quirky characters, which I call Jimmy Olsen, Sex God,
Oh yeah.
Boobrella,
Oh yeah.
white
Yeah.
guy.
Generic white guy 101.
Yeah, white guy who's just kind of there. He at least gets to go on the weird pod thing. That's fun for
that's
him.
true.
He gets a quirky moment where he doesn't have a seatbelt. Oh, and the boss, what's his name? I always forget the name.
Perry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Perry.
We did get a race swapped Perry, but
Yeah, it's not that big a deal. It's just he
True.
was race swapped with Snyder's version, so we just get him race swapped again because now that they've done it once, they can
Yeah.
do it again, and it's fine. He's not so vital that it changes everything.
no.
So it's fine, and he does Perry fine. Perry's supposed to be like the most quintessential like cigar smoking, which he does.
Yep.
Reporter, editor man in charge of paper. He's like, get me pictures of Spider-Man's ass, sort of thing.
Oh wait,
Oh yeah. Seems like
Wrong
I've seen that
universe.
guy before.
oh Jay Jonah, we love you.
Jay Jonah's more interesting and dynamic and fun, but Perry's fine. He's no nothing. But you needed Perry because you needed Perry in the movie, not because he has any sort of stakes or central part of the plot in any meaningful way. Besides, he allows that white guy to get on the pod with everybody. Yeah. Oh, also, we set up the stakes that Jimmy Olsen is apparently every woman in the world is attracted to him. Silver, how do you feel about this?
Oh yeah, 10 out of 10.
Okay, there you go. It's like hot
Maybe
supermodel
first-
women are like giving him eyes from across the room.
Even though he's like this nerd.
It's like
When I first saw that, I thought that those girls were making eyes at Clark Kent,
That's what I thought.
no Jimmy Olsen.
and I'm like, okay, I could see that, but then
This
I'm like,
is-
wait a minute, no, that's not who they're looking at, is it?
This is very James Gunn. This is very James Gunn.
Yeah. Is he the self-insert? Is this who he thinks he is?
I don't know, but he likes that quirky comedy stuff, and it's like, what if everybody's hot for Jimmy Olsen? It's like, no. And the only reason why this exists is to create a convenient, contrived plot line that he happens to know the girl that hangs around Lex Luthor and takes selfies. That's the only reason why they really felt like justifying why he knows her is because all women want them a piece of Jimmy Olsen. The awkward, like, newspaper page guy, redhead from the original Superman stuff. Gee, Superman!
Golly gee.
Lois Lane is stuck in a bunch of sludge. You gotta go save her.
Like, oh, okay.
Gee, thanks, Jimmy.
Thanks,
Get out of here,
Jimmy.
you awful redhead. Go find a
You
soul. I gotta go
disgusting
save.
ginger.
I gotta go save the Earth. You and your lack of soul. And then Superman gets weirdly racist. It's odd.
Well, he does have a machine that turns Lois Lane black, right?
Yes. Well, that was a Kryptonian machine that Lois uses in order to prove that he loves her and not because she's white. So she becomes black to see if he still loves her. That's the point of the
Not
plot.
fat, not ugly, just black.
And I like it doesn't just change her skin. This is a comic, by the way. And it doesn't just change her skin tone. She literally comes out with like 70s black, like bell bottoms and like hair.
Big
Like,
afro.
like yes, the machine changes everything. Like,
Oh my god.
what if you're a cliched 70s black woman? And it's like, I mean,
Alright. Surely Superman couldn't love this. What? I think
Well,
I think
yeah, but
Clark
Super-
Kent would like a foxy black lady.
Superman does step up and he does love Lois.
Oh, thank God. So he's not racist.
Well, there's that one time he dug through the center of the earth and came out the other side in China with very cliched looking Chinese people who are all ching chongy.
He just wants to say hello. What's racist about
This
that?
this is the sort of stuff that James Gunn doesn't have the balls to put in his films. The real Superman.
You goddamn coward.
The real Superman.
Ugh,
Ah,
we need to write him.
we do. Yeah. But yeah, by the way, there's some chick that follows Lex Luthor around and takes pictures. And though there was always like that girl sidekick with Lex Luthor, this one's dumb and more awful. And is taking selfies all the time.
Which calls into question Lex Luthor's
That he's
taste
very
in
smart,
women.
yes.
Yeah, he's this super smart guy, and he would like to be around this person whose IQ is that of a tomato.
Well, why would he keep her around? Why doesn't he monitor her
Yeah.
communications? There are a lot of
Well,
questions as to what's going
yeah.
on with this character.
Especially when later on we find out he monitors her through, or at least tells her he monitors her
Yeah,
stoplight
through the
cameras.
traffic lights.
But he doesn't like have a bug on her phone. Like
Isn't that easier?
Like what?
Than monitoring cameras? Isn't it easier?
It's like the same problem with like having to manually enter the fight commands with pal.
Yeah. But what isn't this the scene where Jimmy Olsen texts her to find out?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that comes later.
Yeah,
All of
that's later.
That comes after.
Okay. Well, Jason's the keeper of the order of things because the movie's all over the place, and I struggle to
It really is.
remember what happens. So continuing
So
on,
right after this,
the apartment.
Lois goes back to her apartment, and Clark is already there making pancakes.
Yes, because everybody liked breakfast, and they have quirky James Gunn dialogue,
Mm.
and they make out a little too long.
Uh-huh.
Just a bit.
just like, oh, all right, calm down, everybody.
Yeah, it was on the verge of getting a little too soap opera-y.
Anyway, they have their quirky. Oh, but everybody likes breakfast, but yeah, for breakfast, and it's like, well, and it's like it's our anniversary of having dated for like 3 months or something.
3 months.
Like, all right,
Always in threes.
and also
Oh,
we missed the Lois Lane discover or learns that he's Superman. So that's a whole other thing we missed. We don't get to have.
yeah.
We don't get that scene. It's just they know each other. That like she knows he's Superman. Once again, this is a movie that needed a movie before.
Yeah, the introductory movie sure has a lot of stuff I didn't get. Oh well.
Yeah, I must have missed the first one.
Man, where's the first movie?
This one's really confusing. So yeah, they know each other, and probably one of the most consequential and important scenes in the film happens where he allows her to interview him as Superman, and she brings out a recorder so that she can interview him and ask him serious questions about what happened. Now, it's a really good scene and it's a bad scene. It's a bad scene for Superman, and it's a good scene for certain meta concepts. Ross, why don't you explain to us the conversation that we have here?
Oh God. So basically, she's like Lois Lane. Pronouns, pal. Lois Lane is giving Clark Kent a bit of a rash of shit for, like, hey, maybe this isn't the most like ethical thing to interview yourself as Superman. Maybe you should, have somebody else interview him or whatever. And he's like, well, I'll let you interview me. And she's like, really? You do that? She's incredulous. And so he says, yeah, he'll do it. And then they start, and it almost comes up, not to get ahead, but like just to, like, it almost comes off as like Clark Kent wasn't expecting her to actually interview him seriously. Because throughout this whole thing, he's just baffled that she's asking him questions that any normal journalist would ask.
Well, and it sort of leans into this character's being sort of innocent and also very naive. That she asks very pointed questions about the consequences of things he does. Which, I mean, the idea of it, and though we're having this conversation in this, but the crux of why the Hammer Baravia shows up to attack him, and why all of this is big controversy, is he intervenes in a war where Baravia invades vaguely Middle East, India,
Jaranpur or something like that.
And he intervenes to stop people from dying, and that this
Mhm.
causes all this conflict. Now, this is actually something that's happened in the comics multiple times in multiple series, and Marvel has done it, DC's done it. The question of superhumans intervening in world conflict. They've talked about it with Superman as a character, as well as it has happened in Marvel and all over the place. I mean, that's all it is about when it comes to like the boys with Homelander and stuff. Is he's an interventionist sort of character where he intervenes in international things, and it does become a dicey situation of like, well, what's Superman doing? Is he picking a moral side in a conflict? Is he representing him or a nation, or like these are interesting questions, which if that's what the movie is about, then that's what the movie should be about, as or struggling to win a fight and then coming back and then winning again, or a bunch of other things. But it's like this movie's about 5 different things that it doesn't really fully address or come to terms with or answer. And anyway,
it picks up these threads during the movie, but then drops them and never resolves most of them.
Anyway, Ross, go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, she asks, God, and I'm going to be honest, I do not remember the exact
just rough it.
dialogue, but like basically, she asks him about Superman intervening in this conflict with Baravia Baranjpur, and like, are you representing the United States? And he's, no, I'm just representing myself. And like, why did you do it? What was your plan? Like, were you taking orders from the U.S.? And
Baravia's supposed to be U.S. ally.
Yeah, and so, but then you intervene on the side of a nation who, I mean, she says, like, has these problems, but we're never shown that. Other than they're poor and brown, I guess. I don't know.
And apparently all the conflict happens over one field.
Yeah, over one dirt field.
With hundreds of people. Like, they bring their children to the border conflict.
Well, as you do, you want them to see some stuff.
It's one thing where they're invading a town, but it's another thing where just all the kids show up in front of the tanks.
Really jam them in there. They might stop the tanks.
We need innocent children to make sure they're diverse. There's a lot of brown people and they're kids, so it's bad. There's a clear bad guy in this situation. The white Eastern European country.
Because Baravia, because they're white and they didn't bring any children, they're the bad guys. So obviously they should have diversified their army just a little bit more.
Baravia shows up with their kids too. They have flags for the hammer.
Soldier of the war.
Yeah, they have flags for the hammer of Baravia and stuff. Who never shows up again?
Because he got thrown into a black hole. Anyway, I just
and Superman just gets so exasperated with this this interview.
He gets exasperated and starts yelling. He like crashes out, as the kids say.
As the kids say. Silver, do you say that?
Yes. As
good.
the kids say.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Well, that's why you're here.
I'm sorry, Jason.
It's understandable from Superman's perspective when he's trying to convince Lois that the only reason he was doing anything is because he was trying to prevent people from dying. That was his thing. I only did it because there were people going to die. I felt I had to step in, and Lois does point out correctly that any reporter worth their salt would be asking him these tough questions, like, why did you do it? Are you representing the American government? Why are you going? If you're an American, supposedly, why are you going after one of America's allies? These questions make sense, and Superman's only response is, I was trying to keep people from dying, and he gets exasperated with the whole thing.
One thing I appreciate is, I'm going to go with this a different crowd. I've heard a lot of people trying to justify the reason why he is the way that he is. He's not the Superman we know. This is Cope. Is because he's only been Superman for 3 years. This is new, young This is like Batman Origins sort of Superman. And it's like, all right. So he will get competent, hopefully. And you're saying he isn't competent now. Because these are things that Superman would be capable of addressing. And he wouldn't get emotional upset about it. And that's one thing I have the interview is very good in that it addresses issues that Superman should be concerned with, but also it belies that Superman's not very competent when it comes to being a superhero.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
doesn't ask these questions. And even if he is concerned about these things, Superman, it's funny. I thought of today that Superman reminds me, morally speaking, of somebody who is so confident in what they believe is right that it doesn't bother them when things happen, because he's simply accepted and morally okay with who he is. In some ways, it reminds me of the sniper in Saving Private Ryan, where it's like he can sleep at night because he's not bothered, because he
Yeah.
knows who he is, and he doesn't need to. And Superman doesn't need to justify himself to Lois Lane. He doesn't even go, "Well, I'm trying to save people," and he just be like, "I'm saving lives, and it's the right thing to do." She's like, "Well, yeah, but," and he's like,
Yeah.
I was saving lives. That was the only important thing to me. I wasn't representing anybody. I was just trying to save people." And it's fair that he hasn't thought about it, but it wouldn't bother him because he wouldn't be insecure about doing the right thing, because he knew it was the right thing to do.
Mhm.
Right.
There would be no insecurity, but it becomes a big important scene for the movie because it addresses the problems with the Bravia situation. It addresses the problems between Lois and him. Like it kind of damages their relationship somewhat, which I've heard women go
Yeah.
like, "It's Superman. You would forgive a lot of things." But she's like, "I don't know. It's not working out." I was like, "Really? It's not working out? Really?" But so they leave not great. He leaves not great, and the relationship's a little iffy. Now I'd like to address something interesting, Ross.
Mm.
So Superman intervene in a conflict, which means a lot of people would interpret that as maybe he's picking a political side, or supporting one side or another,
Yeah.
or making all of these serious implications to him being involved in a foreign conflict, right?
Yes.
Didn't the Hammer of Baravia invade America and nearly murder human beings, American citizens?
Well,
And no one's going to talk about this guy disappears from the consciousness, even consequence, when he did what Superman did. Now you could say, well, Superman did that and this is retaliation. It's like, yeah, on American soil against American citizens. And at no point does the American government have a problem with this. At no point does the Secretary of Defense be like, well, we need to now bomb Baravia for allowing this guy to invade our country. Oh, well, he's not associated with us. Okay, well, where is he? We need to find this man. He invaded America.
You know,
Well,
the
Red-
other thing about this is that if they really have this metahuman who's the Hammer of Boravia, who can basically toss Superman around like he's a rag doll, why didn't he just, liberate Jarhanpur for Boravia? There's nothing that Superman could have done to stop it.
Well, I'm talking about the conflict between the two. Superman did this
I
horrible
know.
thing by intervening, and this guy shows up on American soil and attacks Americans, and no one gives a shit or talks about it.
Pretty much.
See, you have to understand, Red. Metahuman terrorist attacks are just part and parcel of modern day society.
Okay.
That's all there is to it.
It's just
So-
something you got to deal with.
Why are we talking about Superman doing it then?
Well, because reasons.
All right.
Very, very important reasons.
I know
Like
I'm
the
being
movie.
glib here, but
It drives the plot.
what the hell?
further.
Yeah, I mean it. Well, and can I tell you one thing about when Mr. Hammer of Baravia was leaving the scene of the terrorist attack?
Oh, that he flies
Um,
to the beach and no one notices?
Yeah, just right there off the river.
No
Like,
one
what?
will see that
Yeah.
happen.
The
But,
government
like-
didn't track that.
Nobody's watching it. And not only does he
Uh.
fly to the secret military base that's just a bunch of crappy tents,
Yeah, well,
Just
it's
outside
like 200
Metropolis.
feet away.
it would be right. It would be like if, like let's say, a metahuman attacked like Salt Lake City and then flew off towards Hill Air Force Base, I think people would notice. Or to like even Dugway Proving Ground, be like, "Hey, there's stuff over there. Why is he going over there?"
He landed
Like, someone
over
would
there.
notice.
What's over there? Like in a world with cameras
Millions of
everywhere,
people-
or people spotting
Yeah.
things and reporting it, at no point does a reporter sitting there is like, "Yeah, I saw that hammer guy. He landed over there at that tent place on the beach." Even though it's a beach and it would be constantly used by people all the time, it's the most abandoned beach in one of the biggest cities in the world.
Well, it's
No one's
summertime. It's
saying
not like
anything.
there'd be kayakers,
It's not-
canoers.
why would they be at the beach?
They're like, "Why is there a tent with a giant portal?"
You don't understand.
It's
It's
in the
like a
middle.
giant subwoofer looking thing, but
It's
then
in the
people walk
middle.
into it.
And the flap is very open and you can see right in there. And I could see it from my kayak off of the coast because I kayak around Metropolis
Listen.
constantly.
There's a lot of secret killings of kayakers that keep seeing this place. All right,
See-
we're not talking about that.
As I've seen a lot of critical reviews of this film, one thing everybody keeps pointing out is like, "Well, you didn't talk about how fun it was, and how fun the movie it is." And it's like, did you stop and like process what was happening at any point in the movie? Did you go, "Well, that's kind of dumb. There's a tent camp next to Metropolis. That's kind of stupid." Like they couldn't even try. They couldn't even try and made it like a bit farther away. It's right next to Metropolis.
Or under the water, like an underwater cave. No,
Sure. Or in
That-
Or heck,
in a cool secret base or something.
that would have been awesome. But we even find out later that Boravia has a portal on their side. He could have flown all the way to Boravia to make it look like he was Boravian, taking the portal back over to Metropolis.
No,
No.
let's just
The
do it
U.S.
dumb
government
Yeah.
would have been
and a
able
crappy,
to say, "Oh, look, he went
crappy
back to
canvas
Boravia."
tent and make sure that this base is full of weird paramilitary guys and tech bros with sandals and
And
Hawaiian shirts. Even though they're in Metropolis, which is basically kind of New York.
Yep.
yeah, Delaware, New York.
Yes. But, whatever. Hammer Baratheon,
Whatever.
never going to talk about it again. He also invaded America. Never going to talk about it again. No consequences
No.
for Baravia in any capacity. Even though they claim, well, we don't know who that guy is. And it's like, well, we have serious questions. Shake fist, send missile sort of thing. No. No one's talking. The guy disappears. And nobody knows they're the same person except for the audience and Lex Luthor and people around him. So at no point is America going like, well, we need to find this Hammer Bravia. He's more dangerous than Superman. Why are we so concerned about Superman? This guy's worse.
Yeah.
He beat up Superman. This is a problem.
Well, we constantly have meetings about how dangerous Superman is and what his intentions are and what he's doing with his life. No one's going to sit and talk about the Hammer of Bravia, who beat up Superman, who's more dangerous than He's a big problem because at least Superman has shown that he likes to save people and is kind of nice. Hammer Bravia is just practically murdering people, and he tried. He's wrecking stuff and. But whatever. No questions here. Move on. Where's the plot go
Hey,
next, Jason?
So after this, Lex Ultraman, the engineer, and his girlfriend break into the Fortress of Solitude.
Oh, that's right.
And Lex Luthor is one of his. I believe it's the engineer says something about, well, what if he comes while we're here? And Lex is like, well, I've got a distraction set up for Superman.
Oh, we missed the scene where they let out a little cute kaiju monster onto the beach, and they have this like truck.
We
with a
haven't
little
missed it
shaking
yet. That
cage.
actually comes. That's why this is so weird. The way that they do this is because they go down to the Fortress of Solitude, and then after they're breaking into the Fortress of Solitude, then we see this scene where they do
It goes back
where
in
they
time.
release this little monster. Yeah, and it's like, wait a minute, what? do you guys know how continuity works in a movie? Because
No.
you just when does this scene happen? Did this scene happen while they were in Antarctica, or did this scene happen before?
Much like
Because you gave us no indication. The only thing we know of is that the scene happens where they're releasing the monster. It happens at night.
much
But
like a lot of
is it
other
night?
things, Jason, you're not supposed to think about it. What happened to the
Think
Hammer
about
Bravia? Don't think. Move on. Where did this monster come from? Are we moving
Yeah.
backwards in time because it's now nighttime and he's letting it out, and then it's day? It's like, well, and it happens so fast that it's like, is it the next day or
Yeah.
that same day?
I would assume because Lex Luthor is saying, well, what if he, or because the engineer is saying, well, what if he interrupts us while we're down here? And Lex is saying, I've got something to distract him. I'm assuming that they're happening at the same time. But the movie didn't really give me that feeling because of the way that they shot the scenes and the way they showed them. It was like, okay,
Because
this is
Superman
really weird.
fights the monster
I
during the day,
yeah,
but whatever.
I would assume that they released the monster the night before because remember it was really small, and then by the time Superman is fighting it during the day, it's skyscraper tall.
No, I
and
mean this is a really good point about it's confusing and the continuity is filmed really differently. We do need to keep chugging along. So does then it cut to him fighting it while they're doing stuff like montage with stuff that they're
no,
doing?
this is it's like they go down there, they find the message from Superman's parents, and they
kill the
steal
robots.
that. Kill the robots and they steal the message, and then we get here's the kaiju, and Superman is fighting it, and he's trying
we
to
got to roll back,
to
Jason.
keep the kaiju.
Hold on, we
Okay.
got to roll back. They show up. So first of all, we already get in multiple Superman movies, we get the Kal-El's parents with a message
Yes.
to guide him into the future. We got it in the 78 Superman. We got it in the Zack Snyder Superman.
Yep.
It's sort of a message of you can help guide them. They have a really good speech in the Man of Steel, where it's basically like, you can inspire them. They're going to stumble, they're going to fall, but eventually they can follow you into the sun. And it's like, ooh, that's a really good line. So Superman's meant to be sort of an inspiration to mankind. And when he gets healed with Mega Sun magnifying glass, killing ants, they play his parents talking to him and telling him, his Kryptonian parents, sort of their expectation for him. You're the earth to me. You're the wind to me. You're meant to do good. Yada yada yada. And so, but apparently there's a bunch of this message just missing. The engineer shows up and they're like, despite Kryptonian technology and the robots and all of the capabilities that Superman has with the remnants of what he got from Krypton, they can't piece together the rest of the message from Kal-El's parents, but Lex Luthor and the engineer can almost immediately piece together the damaged remnants. Because damaged is different than we can decrypt it. Damaged is it can't be pieced back together. But they make it out like, oh, I can fix it, and we know exactly what they're saying. And so they steal the message. And the assumption that the audience makes, that everybody makes, is he's going to take this information and modify it for his own gain. Everybody makes that assumption. However, we go to the fight with giant kaiju monster, and Superman is awkwardly trying, like, jostling it, but not really fighting it, and he's trying to figure out what to do and stop it from hurting people, which is something Superman should do. Stop it from hurting people. It nearly stomps on the dog, and Superman blows the dog out of the way. And I kept thinking it would just slide across the floor and then slowly come to a stop. And weirdly, they filmed it where he blows the dog into a tree.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I hope that dog's okay. But it's like, clearly it's fine. But I was worried. It's like, if you could blow that dog, you could injure that dog. By the way, in a lore breaking, physics breaking way, he blows into a black hole and is able to escape from it. But we'll talk about that later. But yeah, and then you get the Justice Gang show up to help fight it, and they're like, "Oh, you're not killing it?" He's like, "Well, I'm trying to save it, so we could study it and get it out of here from hurting people." And weirdly enough, the most reasonable and commanding of everybody is Mr. Terrific, who is probably the most heroic character in this movie.
Yeah, arguably, yeah.
Does stuff even though because it's the right thing to do, not because he has to, or is competent and confident and capable, all the good C words. And then they fight it. You get quirky glimpses of the personalities of Hot Girl, who's almost nothing in the movie.
Yeah, and has a terrible costume. They did that actress dirty.
Yeah, and we get a Green Lantern who's just douche Green Lantern with a terrible haircut with Nathan Fillion.
Ugh.
Oh yeah, his haircut's awful.
And once again, we don't get character development from any of these people. They're just these personalities. They're just here.
Yeah.
And they fight it, and we have this quirky thing, and then they kill it because they're like, well, it's a problem, so we're going to kill it. And Superman seems disappointed because he was trying not to kill the thing.
Yeah.
Am I missing anything?
No, well, I mean,
Nope.
Green Lantern does use his powers to make an eye poke. A Green Lantern jelly eye poker.
I heard from a
very
bunch of
stupid.
people responding that made them queasy with a lot of the eye stuff in this.
I mean,
I
it
can
didn't me,
see
but
that.
I get it. You know,
Stab it in the eye. Was this a scene where he saved a squirrel?
it is.
Yes.
Almost
Where he
got
saved the
squished by a
squirrel.
car.
Yeah. I mean, it's
And Crypto did kill it.
fine, but everybody was like,
Shocked.
all right.
Mhm. A little dumb.
What was that, Silver?
I said, and Crypto didn't kill the squirrel immediately. I'm
It
shocked.
could have, yeah. Should have.
Just ripped it apart, vaporized it with one bite.
Where are we going from here?
So after this, we get Lex on television exposing
Oh, and that talk show.
Superman to the world. Yeah.
Like as soon as the kaiju
broadcast the
falls
message.
down.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you elaborate on that, Jason?
So, like we said, Lex breaks in, steals that message from Superman's parents, and they say, "Oh, there's more here, but it's damaged." And so they magically extrapolate from this damaged file what it is that Superman's parents were really telling him. We only got the part where Superman's parents were saying you should be heroic and be an example to these people and be good and all that stuff, but there's more to it than that. Apparently, because Earthlings are so weak that Superman should take over and rule over these people and make a harem and start rebuilding Krypton with his, basically with his genetics, with his superior genetics to these weak humans. And so this immediately turns everyone against Superman.
Well, and it's funny, like, the
They
dust hasn't even
immediately-
settled, and people reacting it onto their cell phones.
Yeah.
They're
I
just
mean,
like,
there are people
there's
that
a giant
throwing
dead
stuff
monster
at him
here,
and-
but I'm looking at my cell phone.
Yeah.
Like, usually it takes a couple hours for news to get around sometimes. So this is a very important scene. Believe it or not, the entire internet has been fighting over perpetually small events in this movie as to how we should interpret it. And this is one of the big ones. And there is just an all-out bloody fight about what this means and what's going on. Because the average human being, Ross, you would agree with me, you would assume that Lex Luthor has doctored this information
Yes.
Yeah.
to
Yeah, I
release
would
it to the
assume.
world and make Superman look bad. Even though later when the Baravian president says something, he's like, oh, well, we didn't have to doctor it. He gave that to us himself. So everybody's like, oh, well, he's lying. They doctor this information. We'll find out in the next movie. First of all, I'm watching this movie. Don't tell me next movie.
Yeah.
That's cope. Second of all, we have actually an interview where James Gunn talks about this and talks about how he changed it for the point of his film, and he felt like he could change some things, and that it does exist in the comic. Because believe it or not, John Byrne in the comics in the 90s wrote a version of Superman where they sent him to take over the planet. People didn't like it then. So giving the excuse that exists in the comics is not really a very good excuse. And James Gunn flat out said he did change it. So this is actually real. This is not a doctored weird thing. This actually exists, which is confusing because the message starts out with go down and good and do good and help people. And then if people try and stop you, murder them and collect women and have lots of sex.
Son, I need you to turn into Space Genghis Khan. All right? Adopt throat singing. Ride a horse, shoot a bow, and have many, many women in your...
Well, and
many.
And not just this does dirty Kal-El's parents, because in other versions it's so inspiring and beautiful the way they send the hope of Krypton to Earth. Instead, it's like, no, take the planet, have lots of hooers, collect women, get diverse,
Get all the broads,
spread your seed, and it's like, oh, this is terrible, and they really did his parents dirty. But this isn't fake. This is real.
Yeah.
This is James Gunn's version where Jor-El and wife are just awful people.
Is a scumbag, yeah.
Yes. And this really damages a lot of things. The lore, how we understood Jor-El and all. If we're supposed to fill in the blanks because we all know who Superman is and have seen different versions, this also damages other versions of Superman. Because the other versions, his parents are good, honest, kind people who believe that he can help Earth and guide it into a positive future. No, conquer the planet and have lots of ladies. And the funny thing with this is this, look, I'm not implying that James Gunn did this on purpose, but this definitely parallels the fact that James Gunn got canceled almost immediately and it spread throughout the internet, yada, yada, yada. But I will point out, first of all, people have known Superman for like 3 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
They know who he is. Nobody stopped and went, oh, well, this must be fake. Or like Biden, we're not being political. Biden could do something bad when he was president. And even if you have video footage, people would just believe it was wrong. Trump could do something bad, and then the MAGA people would immediately believe it was fine. There's no way you get 100% of people, when they just saw him save their lives, immediately start throwing stuff at the back of his head. They just saw, it's like, oh, there's a small mustache man in Germany who got a lot of people to support him even when things were falling apart. Like, suddenly, the most universally loved superhero of all time, suddenly everybody's like, oh, screw this guy. You don't even have a couple people who are like, I still believe in Superman. He saved my life. You don't get any of that?
No.
Statistically, it'd be at least 20% of people. I mean, something happens in American politics and at least half the country still is like fine with it. Like, well, there must be justification or something. Immediately, he gets canceled on the internet.
Yeah.
Nobody believes in Superman. Nobody.
Michael Ian Black said he bad.
You see my problem with this?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's so annoying.
Just, I saw it on my cell phone. Like in an age of AI, it's like you can't believe anything.
We deep faked Superman's parents.
They could have.
I mean, honestly.
Yes. And that's what's so frustrating is all of this good he did gets underwritten because Lex Luthor puts this out, which would have made so much more sense if he doctored it, but he didn't. So now it just damages his parents. So what?
Not only that, but we have the whole resolution of the movie and stuff, right? That footage is still undoctored and out there. Why would we trust Superman after this? Even regardless of how the movie ends up, we still don't have a reason to trust him because Superman still could be following, the dictates of his parents, and could still this whole nice guy thing could just be a ruse to throw us off our guard so that he can then stroll in like an emperor and make his harem and all that other stuff. It really doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but you can't. He's an alien, immigration or something. Don't trust him. He's so powerful. He's the most powerful metahuman ever, except for the Hammer of Bravia, which we'll never talk about again.
Yeah.
But he's the most powerful superhero ever. Everything he does has consequence. We should focus on him constantly, except there are people who've beaten him. Regardless, he ends up having a panic attack, kinda, and walking to a little building where he gets confronted by the Justice Gang.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Gardner gets in his face, Mr. Green Lantern, and is like, oh, is this true? And then they're all upset, even though they've worked with Superman multiple times, and clearly they know the type of person he is. They're also upset. It's funny, he does the blocking the windows with his green lantern ring, so everything's just cascaded in green during the scene.
This very serious talk.
Hot Girl doesn't do anything. Mr. Terrific is just a reasonable voice in this conversation. Anything to add to this conversation? I didn't find it a huge movement in the plot, but it happened.
It made sense that the superheroes would confront him about it. Just because they're like, dude, this seems really bizarre because we know you. We've been working with you. What's going on here? Why are we seeing this? It makes sense that they would even question it. They'd say, this can't be real, right?
Nobody questioned it.
Yeah.
Of course, he's here to take all our women. It's funny, even when it comes to this sort of thing, like, a lot of women would probably be fine with it.
They'd be like, oh, yeah, sure.
It's like the amount of women that would show up with signs and be like, I'll be in your harem, Superman.
Hey, you know what, James Gunn?
Uh-huh.
You're a weird, quirky director. Put that in your fucking movie. Oh, I want to see that.
You have this awkward thing, and then it makes women look really bad, where they're like, I don't care.
Yeah, I want to see Superman groupies with protest signs.
I want your super baby.
Damn right they do.
They would. That's what's so stupid about this.
Yeah,
immediately the world
right.
The world turns against him, and I was like, it wouldn't be 100%. Even if all of that's true and they thought it was true, you would still have people be like, I want to have your super baby, Superman.
Yep. You are 100% correct.
Yeah. Silver, you want to have Superman, super baby?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, sweet. Oh, good old Superman. Superman, I'll be in your harem, Superman. Well, we move on from here. Where do we move on, Jason?
So Superman flies to the Fortress of Solitude to check on that because he knows that's where he got the footage from.
We get an emotional scene with a robot.
Yeah. he then goes and confronts Lex Luthor because they took his dog.
Yeah. It's funny. Yeah. The robots don't have personality, but then he's like tearing up that his robot's beaten up. Was anyone confused
No,
why he
number
was stabbing
4.
himself in the head with a screwdriver?
Like,
Screwdriver.
yeah, I mean, I guess he's trying to fix himself, but it's the rest of his body
But
that's
with too
messed up.
damaged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just,
How the heck did he come back from that?
Also, he kind of beat up Crypto, and they took the dog. Because the next
Oh,
scene
yeah.
is pivotal, because he shows up in a very non-Superman way and kicks the door in, or just blows through the door and starts screaming at Lex Luthor, "Where's the dog? Where's the
the
dog?"
window.
It's like, oh, Batman, where did you come in?
What are you doing here?
Oh, hello, Batman.
He's like, what dog? What are you talking about? He's like, you know what dog? And suddenly, of course, everybody's recording this so I can make him look bad on the internet, because that's Lex Luthor's
Oh yeah.
goal is to cancel Superman on the
Isn't it
internet.
immediately like on the news and everything? Like Superman threatens billionaire Lex Luthor.
Poor billionaire Lex Luthor. Yeah, just screaming and throwing a fit and angry. And then we get my favorite scene where Lex Luthor whispers under his breath
Yes.
that Superman would hear,
that?
and he goes, "What did you say?" And it's like, of course you heard that. What do you mean, what did you say?
How do you not hear this?
And if I recall, he just leaves Jason.
Yeah, he just leaves. He
Yeah.
leaves and ends up back at his place where Lois is there waiting for him. And they have that scene where basically the Justice Gang are outside fighting some glow in the dark jellyfish
Yeah.
that's floating through Metropolis.
The stupid James Gunn.
Interdimensional imp.
Well, and,
Yeah.
and it's a very emotional scene, and it's really important to the story. It's a good scene.
Yeah, it is.
Like a conversation between him and her. And it's undercut by the fact that this monster is clearly a big problem and could harm people, but Superman's, they got it. It's like, it reminds me of the scene in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 where they just have a fight in the background while Baby Groot is dancing in the front.
Oh, Baby Groot's doing the
Like he's undermined the solemnity and seriousness of the conversation by having a goofy fight scene with a giant eyeball energy monster, which is a problem that this movie has. It undermines moments that should be important.
Yes, exactly. I mean, this is probably one of the most egregious and obvious examples. This would be a funny bit in a Guardians movie, or anything else. Suicide Squad. But dude, this is Superman. Like, this is not what he's supposed to be like. Even I know that, and I hate this character.
He would intervene.
Yes, let us have a moment to let these characters be like grow or breathe or do anything.
Without a quirky joke or
without a stupid that doesn't land. I mean, how often did people laugh during our showing?
A bit, not a lot.
Yeah,
not
very
a
often.
lot. Mm-mm. So it's like none of this shit really landed. So what are we doing? Ugh.
Well, and one of the worst scenes, what we'll get to, is here's the funny scene where I built a giant spaceship and the door to the garage is really slow.
Oh God!
It's like, oh, you're wasting time. What is this?
Yeah,
James Gunn. Good Lord.
so dumb.
But remind me the crux of the conversation.
Well, Superman decides to turn himself into the government.
Yeah, but there's a lot more discussed between them.
Yeah.
The conversation.
I'm trying to remember myself. I think it was kind of he was confused kind of about his identity. He's not sure who he is because if he wasn't sent here by his parents to do good, that he was sent here by his parents to take over the planet and rebuild Krypton and stuff, then he's not really who he thinks he is.
And there's kind of an underlying message of you can be who you want to be, sort of thing.
Yeah.
We get that conversation with Pa Kent a bit later, where he kind of has that. Yeah, yeah. It expresses a lot of doubt for the character, sort of his eternal struggle, which is a good part of the character development, which doesn't develop super well in the film, but it's a good part for his character development that's undercut by a goofy fight scene in the background. But yes, I think I did like the Green Lantern hitting him with the giant green stick in the background. It was kind of fun.
Yeah, I mean, that's the funny thing is this bit would work, but it's really,
It was the wrong movie for it.
yeah. On top, like, especially since we've only seen Superman get his ass beat.
You know, you could mitigate it if they're having this conversation and he's frustrated walking around the apartment, and then he walks past the window and you see it. Instead, it's constantly in the background, so it's almost the focus,
Yeah.
and not the conversation.
Yeah.
Where they
Mhm.
just walk by the window and then it's like, oh, they're still fighting back there. But yeah, and he decides to turn himself in. I don't remember. Does he just immediately turn himself in?
It's the next day he turns himself in, or at least that's what
Well, in the next scene.
Yeah. It's now daytime. He's surrounded by Planet Watch. Ultraman is pushing his face into the pavement and breaking
Which
the pavement.
I have
with
serious
Superman's
questions
face.
as to why he's being arrested, because they saw video. And I like how they tried to wave off. It's like, oh, it's a fake. And then the best excuse we have is Mr. Terrific is like, they're the best people at looking at that stuff. It's not a fake. Just so that, because it's almost like James Gunn knew everybody would assume it's fake. So they have to be like, it's not though. It's like,
Yeah.
all right. And why does he need to be arrested? He didn't do anything. It's just a video.
No, he did. I mean, they were kind of upset with him for going and interrupting the war between Boravia and Jarhanpur. But yeah, it doesn't really make any sense why he would be arrested.
Well, they kind of try to justify it when Luthor tries to get him arrested, and the Secretary of Defense is like, well, he's done a lot of good, and we've been giving no indication that he's going to do any different or any other motive.
Yeah.
And so I guess the excuse is, well, we have a different motive, but it's not coming from Superman. We've been given no indication
Right.
that Superman's doing this sort of thing. But he willingly comes in, and Ultraman smashes his head into the ground, and he's like, I'm doing this willingly, or whatever. And we get the Superman being arrested and dragged in to Pocket Dimension, which I guess Lex Luthor just kind of makes. He makes the Pocket Dimension. And he keeps people in there, and somebody driving the little trolley looks like Slender Man. It's like a genuinely horrifying looking creature, and it's like, oh,
Yeah, it has
Alright.
like no real face, just like a line where a mouth
Kind of a
with
mix,
two hollow eyes.
kind of a mix between Slender Man and the Greys.
Yeah, and it's, oh my god, it's so baffling.
but we get a lot of dialogue between Superman and Luthor, and he takes him to his prison cell. And Luthor does a lot of gloating over Superman here.
Wait, don't they bump into the monkeys here? Like,
Yeah,
literally?
they fly
Yeah.
back past the. We find out that Lex Luthor is spreading misinformation on the internet about Superman on Twitter or X, I assume, by using a
Yeah.
giant group of hyper intelligent monkeys to troll on the internet, who started the hashtag super shit.
Oh.
By the way,
Which-
for a movie that should be quintessential young boys aspiring to and putting capes on and flying around their backyard, there's a surprising amount of cursing and middle fingers in this movie.
Mhm.
Yep.
It's like, I wouldn't show it to an 8-year-old. Even though this should be the movie that inspires all 8-year-old boys. It's not. Yeah. No. But we do get the hyper intelligent monkeys that are spreading misinformation on the internet. Do you
Yeah.
think this is An allegory, Ross, of some kind?
Well, I don't think
Yeah.
it could possibly be James Gunn trying to work some things out, his own anger, over perhaps some minor canceling that happened over some things he said on the internet, 10, 12 years ago.
That he did say that were inappropriate.
Yeah, that was kind of gross. But, I'm sure he's not. It's fine.
I see a lot of
He's not
James
mad at
Gunn
Marvel.
venting his issues in this movie.
Yeah, to the detriment of the story, because much like the shouting the fight move you want to do in Tekken, this makes no sense. Why not have AI? Why not have
Yeah.
bots? But no, the bot farm is monkeys.
I agree.
Okay.
It's probably cheaper with hyper intelligent monkeys.
Sure.
Well, and they're all like in awkward floating chairs. And it's like, this isn't efficient. Like, how do they get out of the chairs? Like, what do they do when they poop? Like, it doesn't just go into the void or the 8-bit
Yes.
river, the digital river,
Oh,
Yeah.
the Lego river, if you will.
love me the Lego River.
Yeah, but he puts them in a jail cell, and you find out that Lex Luthor has a bunch of people that have aggrieved him in his pocket dimension that he just magically makes. Some lady who said something rude about him on the internet, and
Yeah, his ex-girlfriend.
yeah, and just a bunch of other random people, and it's like, oh, he's just more petty. This isn't just Lex Luthor being like calculated evil genius. It's just petty Lex Luthor.
Anybody that ticked him off at any point in his life ends up in a little glass cube in this pocket dimension. It's like, really, Lex?
In a
That's what you decided?
Poorly-
You have the ability to create your own pocket dimension, and you use it to keep the people who ticked you off.
Well, that's
That
the
one
problem
guy
with a
who cut
lot
you
of the
off in
stuff he
traffic.
does. It's like, why do you need to do any of it? You could create pocket dimensions. Like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
But yeah, and he keeps them in the worst designed prison cells of all time, where you can just see each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he puts them
Which
in with
leads to,
Metamorpho,
you know-
who I think he calls James or whatever.
Yeah.
Joseph, I believe.
Joseph.
Oh. Mhm.
Oh yeah.
And Metamorpho is a character from the comic books who's a weird, quirky monster character that makes sense for James Gunn movie, because James Gunn
Mhm.
likes those quirky, weird characters who can create elements from his body, and he creates kryptonite so that they can injure Superman.
Control
and
of
keep them
Superman.
there. Oh, and they do see Crypto. He has Crypto in a little
Oh,
ball chasing
Yeah.
VR simulator.
super squirrels for some reason.
yeah. I love that Lex Luthor is like Dr. Evil levels of bad guy, where
Yes.
he's showing Superman all of his dastardly plans, like
Sharks with lasers.
having-
and-
Crypto in the Forever simulator.
Well, and I like that the motivation to keep Joseph there is across the way is his Spock baby.
Yeah.
Just
Weird
some
stuff.
random guy is holding the Spock baby in a cell. Just like, I'm gonna hurt it. And he's like, no. And so does the guy just sit there forever?
Yeah,
Yes.
can you imagine being that
Wait.
guy?
Just holding
Like,
the
who
baby?
comes and relieves him?
is
How much
is
do you get
there
paid for that job?
does he have shifts? Like, is there a
They got to be
Just a
like 10 or
bottle
12
feeder
hours. Yeah.
periodically.
does he take care of the
It's not
baby?
What happens at night?
Does he feed the baby? Does he change its diaper?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like that's
Imagine,
not the
yes.
work for a muscle.
You know, you could have pulled this off easier
Especially
just by having some lady taking care of the baby and then just guns all over the room pointing at the baby.
yeah.
Like, you don't have to have just a guy sitting in the room with the baby.
Tiny
Yeah.
detonation collar.
Yes, that's a good solution. Just a little detonation collar.
No, but we got to show Superman all of these dastardly plans.
Evil
We're
man
just-
holding baby.
I mean, it's not like Superman is charismatic, like in It's not like he'd be able to help this nice
Yeah.
man with kryptonite for a hand. No, he wouldn't be able to help him.
No.
Yeah.
And I like how his whole plan is this will work perfectly and I'll be able to kill Superman and nothing will go wrong, except for the fact that Joseph might change his mind because you're holding his baby and try and save Superman.
Super hostage.
It's like somebody who doesn't like you because of what you're doing to them may change their opinion. And honestly, it's not that difficult to save the baby because it's just some guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a dude.
This is some
And
guy.
As far as I
And
know,
it's
he
like-
had no weapons on him.
I don't recall
can't.
either.
He didn't seem to have any weapons on him. He'd never pulled any weapons out to menace anybody. He could have had a gun or something with him, but we never saw it. And the fact that he was right across in the cell right across from Superman, so that you could see it, rather than like, in order for us to save this baby, we've got to get out of the pocket dimension and find the baby. No, the baby's right there. No problems.
Isn't it? It's later when Lex Luthor plays Russian roulette in a weirdly out of tone.
Oh,
Yeah. A little
Um,
bit later.
So first Lois tries to find out from the government where they're holding Superman, but nobody will tell her. And that's when when Jimmy texts Mutant Toes to find out where Superman's being held, and finds out that he's being held in a pocket dimension.
So
And
I would like to point out
Yeah.
that because Lex Luthor lets this girl hang out taking selfies,
Mhm.
and Jimmy Olsen just happens to know her, and that he just happens to be able to text her to be able to get information, to be able to find out where Superman is so that they can tell him that he's in a pocket dimension that nobody knew about. All of this seems kind of contrived and poorly written. Am I wrong?
unlike
Yeah.
the rest of this,
Oh.
Ross? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Jimmy Olsen just
Yeah.
happens to have dated the most important person for the
Lex
plot to help leak information about what Lex Luthor's plans are. Jimmy Olsen just happens to know
Yeah.
this person.
and he just happens to be this babe magnet
Yeah. It just happens to be
who
good friends with Lois Lane, who's motivated to get Superman out. I'm just saying, it's kind of dumb. It's kind of dumb. But he does meet up with her, and we find out the Lex Luthor's both extremely paranoid and also really stupid, because he monitors all of the
Yeah.
traffic cameras, but also doesn't monitor her phone, and that she's texting a
phone.
guy that works at the Daily Planet. Whatever. Lex Luthor,
fine.
moron.
She's just a dumb idiot.
But she tells him all the secret information, and then doesn't she go to the Justice Gang, and they're not interested in helping?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Lois goes to the Justice Gang, and the only person who is going to help her is Mr. Terrific, and then
Well,
we
he
get
chases
the
after her.
stupid, yeah, and we get the stupid scene with the garage door opener.
And they get in a weird pod, and then they fly to the easiest to locate secret base on the beach, where we
Yes.
get Mr. Terrific looking really cool and being the only time that we get to see a superhero up to this point be really heroic and cool.
Yeah.
By fighting it. And you know what? I would like to see Mr. Terrific do stuff and not the Lois face reaction and weird camera angles as it spins around her like she's at Cirque du whatever, at the circus. It's really weird. It's like both cool and stupid at the same time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, supposedly these what are the raptors? These raptor guys that are armored and stuff. They're supposed to be part of Planet Watch. They're supposed to be this elite crew that's supposed to be able to handle Superman. And Mr. Terrific is no Superman, and he wipes the floor with these people.
You know, I was somewhat confused as to why the tech bros who are only doing this for money tried to fight Mr. Terrific. Did you notice like a couple tech bros like run in and
Oh,
he just
yeah.
knocks them out? And it's like, why do you
Hawaiian
care?
shirted Tech bros.
What does this matter to you,
Well,
dude?
not only that, but he is beating the crap out of these people who are supposedly there to deal with metahumans, supposed to be able to deal with someone like Superman, and they're getting their butts handed to them. And these tech bros who are unarmored, wearing Hawaiian shirts and flip flops, think that they're going to somehow take out Mr. Terrific.
The whole scene is more or less a stylized, quirky James Gunn indulgence than anything.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what the whole scene, the whole thing is.
That scene was just like, look, a character I could write. Let's do something fun.
Yeah, let's do interesting things with this guy. Oh, not Superman? No.
Nah.
No.
Superman's being pathetic and in jail.
Yeah, been a big
Yep.
wuss.
Rising on the ground.
But he hacks the system and they go into the portal. And
Before this, that's when Lex tries to interrogate Superman, and he's playing Russian roulette with
He
that one guy
murders
who
the
helped
falafel
Superman.
maker.
Yeah,
And I was like,
shoots him in the head.
tonally, this is all over the place. It's like, so you're just a murderer now? Like, what is this?
Yeah, I'm sure the kids love this part of the.
Where
Oh,
he just
yeah.
murders a guy with a revolver?
Love
Okay.
that Cold Single Action Army.
What an interesting Superman movie where Lex Luthor just blows a guy's head off.
He does it one time, he's like, oh, you got lucky. Next time he shoots him, he's like, I didn't expect it to happen that fast.
Well, and they try to
That's
mitigate
the
it
point
by
of Russian roulette.
well, yeah, but they try to mitigate by having a quirky, funny moment where he's like, "Well, I thought it would last longer," and it's like you just murdered him. Like I'm not that interested, James Gunn, in you getting your joke out as I am in the fact that you had Lex Luthor murdering. It's like, yes, he's evil, but how many times does Lex Luthor personally go and shoot people in the head?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it felt
There'd be more
totally just
torture involved.
confusing and weird and
Superman's like,
what?
he served me food once.
no, falafel man. They're gonna build a statue of him in the city next to a falafel stand.
Yeah, they will.
Surrounded by falafels.
Yeah, and this is implied to be the scene where Joseph, like, he changes and he's not okay
Yeah.
with even though it's like that was too far, and he decides to help
Mhm.
Superman, and he like stops the kryptonite, but he's not okay because he's still kind of poisoned from the kryptonite, and Superman's like, well, I get healed from the sun. So he tries to create a sun so that Superman can get out and save his child. So, and I like that, like the people in the jail cells next to him was like, don't do that, you'll get us in trouble. And they try and call for the guards, but the play literally nobody's standing by.
He's doing something.
There's no cameras, nobody's standing by watching what's happening. No one's going like, oh, don't like what are you doing? Like this.
Guy with baby who works for Luthor is in the cage across the way.
Right across the hall.
Doesn't have like, I don't know, a walkie-talkie or something.
Well, and the implication is he can see you. You better stay in line. And then he's like, "Well, you got to
Yeah.
save my baby really quickly." And then it takes way too long for Superman to be healed enough to go save the baby. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh well, the implication was he's just holding the baby, like I'll murder it immediately, and none of that happens. He can see
So we
you.
break this baby's neck, and yeah,
He can see you. Okay.
Yeah. No, he's got a really slow reaction time though. Break that, but he ran out of time.
he makes a little son. It's all silly comic book stuff. I'm mostly fine with that. Like it's fine.
Yeah. Whatever.
The silliness of the guy can see you doing it, and why aren't you doing anything about it and snapping that?
Why
kid's
isn't he doing
neck
something
or
about it?
anything? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
But he breaks out and flies over and gets the baby and punches the guy. And then he goes and frees Crypto. And then we have the Raptors intervening with this weird comedic scene where Superman also isn't able to be super or strong or defeat
Yeah.
anybody. He's just in the video game river holding the baby above it, kind of trying to fight them off, and Crypto's helping.
Well, helping is debatable there.
The scene's really dumb.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah, it
This
is.
is also the scene where he's getting sucked into a black hole,
Well, yeah,
and
but
he saves
before
himself,
we get
Crypto,
there,
and the baby.
before we get there, anybody want to add anything to this long drawn out fight scene where he's fighting in 8-bit water?
Other than it was really freaking long. Yeah.
Yes.
Very
Well, that's
long.
why I don't want to move to the black hole yet, because there's a lot to talk about that. And
Think
this scene goes on forever.
A lot of nothing
Yeah.
happened. Just let's hold the baby aloft in one arm as I'm in.
It reminded me of, like,
whatever.
the weird, oversaturated, colorful version of the Hobbit river scene where they're fighting around. The river.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, CG water, everybody. And it's just like drawn out and unnecessary and a silly action scene where he's trying to keep the baby above the water, which would, I guess they
Well-
implied would kill anybody except for Superman.
Yeah.
So he's got to keep the baby out of it.
Do you remember that crappy Adam Sandler movie called Pixels?
Yeah.
yes,
Yes.
Looks
It
like
looked
that. The river looks like that. It
Yeah.
looks so dumb.
It looks like Pac-Man vomited.
Yeah. It's so bad.
It's just,
Well,
it's not
they-
a cool scene.
they were-
It's not visually interesting. It's just really awkward and dumb. And it puts Superman once again, because he doesn't know how to write strong, triumphant Superman. He constantly has to make up situations where Superman is having problems. So it's like he
Yeah.
can't be
Yeah.
Superman. He's in the river, and it's he barely holds him above. It's like, why can't you fly out of the river? Ah, it's a difficult river. You can't fly out of this river? No. All right. Is it special river properties that mean he can't get out of it? Yes.
So it was
Apparently.
like a anti-proton river. That would have
Yeah.
torn
Yeah.
him apart.
yeah.
Well, and then it's like Superman is really weak and can get punched and constantly is bloody. But you see like weird context breaking stuff of the river would have destroyed him, so he's apparently invulnerable to everything. And also a black hole sucking
Antimatter.
him in, and he can blow into a black hole and push himself away with propulsion. What? I saw people, the nerdy people on the internet, try and discuss whether or not this Superman is stronger than Zack Snyder's Superman. And the only thing somebody could bring up is, well, he was able to blow into a black hole. And it's like, it's not even a strength at that point. The one guy said is basically tune logic. So he's got the power of like physics breaking like ability. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's like Wile E.
this
Coyote
isn't
getting
DC.
hit in the head,
Yeah.
like with a giant anvil and being fined. Sort of concepts of like what he can or cannot do. Like literally, a black hole is so powerful that light cannot escape it. Light, and he blows into a black hole. I mean, imagine blowing into a vacuum to push yourself away from it.
Yeah. That's
No,
the vacuum. There's nothing to push against.
no. It doesn't make it. It's so he has the ability to blow harder and stronger than something that is drawing so much into it that light cannot escape it. Light. You would have to. The power of your breath would have to be stronger than the infinite drawing power of a black hole. His breath would destroy planets.
Yeah.
Just
He
left that
exhales
dog
and it
as a
just-
smear on the pavement.
Yes. No, not only would the dog be destroyed, but like the entire continent behind
Would have
it, and the
tunneled through
world
the
would
planet.
end. And everything would be just.
There'd been a
it's-
hole all the way through to the other side.
Well, yeah, but it's not even like power comparison. This is like cartoon logic at this point.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is Looney Tunes Superman, not DC Superman.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that'll defeat him now is a big can of dip.
big water chaw.
Well, no, Dip from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Roger Rabbit. Who Framed
Yeah.
Roger Rabbit?
Oh no, it's dip!
Superman,
God.
no. Is it? Are we being overly picky and anal
Critical?
about how stupid this is?
I mean, look.
It's a Superman movie. Just shut your brain off, Ross, and enjoy the film. It's fun. It's a fun movie.
I think this scene could have worked, but I think Superman would have had to basically direct his breath against something that was physical. Like if he had blown down towards the river of antiprotons he was in, then it would have made sense that he was pushing against
You don't even have
something
to fix.
to move away.
You don't even have to fix that. They tried to set up where Crypto comes down and pulls them out, but Crypto doesn't because he's just shipped
That
off.
would have worked too. Yeah.
So they should have just done that, and it would have been fine. But they don't do that.
No.
No. Superman has to save them all because, like you said, Crypto is just useless in this movie.
He is worthless. He's more a hindrance and in the way. And there's way too much time spent with Crypto. Like, he consumes way too much of this movie.
Yeah.
He's like the
Super
crux of a
does.
lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
But the Mr. Terrific sends a little drone to tell Superman to follow him, so they follow him to the exit. So they can get out. One big grievance I heard from people on the internet is, why didn't Superman try and save everybody else in prison? Because Superman would try and save everybody.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He wouldn't leave people there to die, or like the poor person in the cell next to him.
Yeah.
Didn't even try. And I know it's implied that the portal's closing, but Superman would try.
Yeah. The other thing is he wasn't really in great shape to be saving anybody at this point in time.
I mean, he would figure something out. He'd be like, but there are people that trapped there. Well, we don't have time and the portal's closing. You've got to get out of here. And then he would reluctantly. But it's at no point did he protest. He didn't say anything that there are people still trapped in there until after he got out of the portal. It's like, you can't go back in.
Yeah.
There's no going back. Yeah, it's just, once again, contrary to Superman's nature. But, yes, they get out. I know the portal causes a rift, but where are we going from here, Jason?
Well, so at this point, Lois takes Superman back to his parents' farm to recover.
Oh, that's right.
And Jimmy meets up with Lex's girlfriend because she's still madly in love with Jimmy, even though she's with Lex. I couldn't even say that without.
Well, it's just, it's a weird, like, one of the most important points in the show that saves people is his ability to contact this woman, and his mysterious superpower of all women are just bonkers for Jimmy Olsen.
Yep. I
mean, that literally, that is what saves Superman, and it saves a lot of other things, is Jimmy Olsen. Women just can't get enough of him.
Yep. And it's while Superman is recovering on his parents' farm that Lex's girlfriend decides to text a whole bunch of evidence to Jimmy about what Lex is doing. And this is one of the things that we get. So Ultraman and Lex Luthor discover her hiding in a closet and texting Jimmy. Or at least talking to Jimmy on the phone. The thing is that Ultraman hears her, and that's why he goes and gets Lex. which then, because of the revelations later, it's like, well, Superman should have heard all this stuff too.
Yeah, I'm not entirely convinced it was as dumb and was talking too loud in a closet.
Yeah, yeah. She was just kind of dumb, but she does at the last minute send
Well, true.
send the information.
Yeah,
It is true, but it like, because she's talking on the phone, it attracts Ultraman's attention, and we know that what Lex thinks of his brain.
Yeah, that we find out later. I think so. She sends the images, and they're just a bunch of selfies, and he's like, "Oh, they're selfies."
Yeah.
And I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but we find out that this is brilliant because all of the selfies have all of the information about what Lex is up to in the background. And I don't know if we're supposed to think that this is brilliant on behalf of this lady, that she was deliberately taking selfies to gather information about Lex Luthor.
I don't think she was.
But how would she then
Because-
also go, I have all of the information about Lex Luthor, and then send selfies? Like, she knew they were in there.
Maybe.
So she
she never
literally was undermining Lex Luthor, and the whole time was taking selfies to gather information about him in this hyper intelligent spy sort of way. And you know what I
She
mean?
just doesn't seem that.
Like, was
Yeah,
all this
she doesn't seem that
deliberate? Or-
intelligent.
She doesn't seem that
But
intelligent, but apparently it was a clever
No.
plan the whole time. You're like, oh, that's so
Yeah.
clever. She took him while she was taking selfies. It's so smart.
Yeah, Jimmy figures out that the evidence is in the background behind her in all of her selfie shots. And originally,
Well, I think
he's like,
Lois figures it
"It's
out.
all selfies."
Yeah.
No, because Jimmy calls Lois and says, "Look at this," and sends her the image. She's like, "It's a selfie." She's like, "Look what's in the background."
Oh, that's right. Do they go? So she ends up leaving him at the farm. She doesn't do the. I'm
Yeah.
going to sit around
So-
and take care of Superman.
Yeah, she leaves to go go through the evidence with Jimmy back at the Daily Planet, and Clark is there with on the farm with his parents, and he has that talk with his dad.
Yeah. Well, so what did you think of his parents?
I kind of hated them. Not bad,
Yeah.
but like, why
They're
were
not-
they Southern?
They're not really the salt of the earth, wise, like concerned, good people that they normally are portrayed. They're kind of stupid rednecky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really baffling.
I-
Like they're
Is that the Kansas accent?
did
Does
like
Kansas have an accent?
like that.
I'm sure they do.
Sounds
but
like
I don't think it's
Alabama
that
or
one.
something.
Well, exactly.
I'm glad that they didn't do the Snyder thing where his dad was like, "Don't save me," and then gets killed by a tornado.
Yeah, except this time his dad gives pretty good advice and also really bad advice. So a lot of morally who Superman is comes from Pa Kent. Well, and his mom too. But Pa Kent sort of
Yeah.
raised him to be a good man. Now, on traditional, like country,
You help
like
your neighbor.
American values, which is why
You see something that's going
Ameri-
down that's wrong, you step in to help.
yeah, it's your
Yeah.
responsibility to do good because you're a good person.
Yeah.
The traditional value, like Superman was raised very Christian in a traditional Midwest sort of Christian way. And so he gives him advice and they sit and talk, and he basically says, the good advice he gives him is, what you do is what makes you a good person. So doing good. So you
Yeah.
need to do good, sort of thing. But also it's like, it's not a parent's responsibility to tell their kids what to do. They just have to give them the tools to figure it out themselves. And I'm like, kind of, but no. That's
Yeah.
a weird sort of modern concept of just push your kid out into the world and they'll figure out who they are. And it's like, no, he would be like, this is what it means to be a good man. You need to be a good man. And I need to give you the tools and then hope you can live up to what we taught you. Not, they'll figure it out. Like they're adults, for crying out loud, children. They'll figure it out. It's a weird modern concept of raising children, and it's horseshit.
Yeah. It's just, well, and all he does is cry.
Yeah, his dad is not. His dad's kind of like the mom calls him Mush. Martha calls him Mush.
Yeah.
And it's like, why? You can't have like the noble, kind farmer. You got to make like kind of a pathetic, like weepy guy. Is he okay? Pa Kent, what did they do to you?
Yeah, this is the opportunity for Pa Kent to come in and say something like, "I know you're a good man because I've raised you right. I raised you to do good, and that's what you've been doing. You can take that to the bank."
Well, it's like
that should have been the pep talk.
It's like you know what to do.
Yeah,
because it's like, gee, Pa, I don't know what to do. I'm upset about this. I don't know who I am. And he's like, you know who you are. You're Clark, and you're a good man. And he's like, you know what to do. And that's really all he needs to say.
Yeah.
You know what to do. Because I know who you are on the inside. He's like, yeah, but my parents. And he's like, you know who you are. Yeah. And that's the reconnect to, oh, my parents are really the people who raised me, not necessarily the people who gave birth to me.
Exactly.
Which is a good message for somebody who might have been adopted or that sort of thing. Like, all of this is real positive information that comes out of Superman that doesn't show up in this movie. Mm-hmm. And here's perhaps one of the problems with this film is it feels like, and I feel like I might be repeating somebody else's podcast, so I don't want to do that, but it does definitely feel like the movie is written for women and non-masculine men. You know what I mean? It's like it's not written for so Superman is a hyper masculine character, and I know people associate masculinity with the negative, but I'm talking the positive attributes of masculinity. I'm talking, it's not just confidence. It's stoicism. It's doing the right thing without expecting something in return. It's like bearing the burden of what you have to do. It's fighting the good fight. It's getting up in the morning and doing, it's the positive, strong masculine attributes that make good men who they are. Doing good for good's sake, being a good person. It's not being angry and violent and like the negative masculine traits that people often associate. But for some reason, it seems like James Gunn doesn't understand these concepts because he's not that guy. So he doesn't know how to give Superman advice through Pa Kent because he doesn't understand it. He doesn't understand to be a masculine man doing good and being a good example to other people. Like, he's never met this person. So he doesn't understand how to write that. So instead of being a leader and confident and stepping in because it's the right thing to do, Superman is unsure of himself and awkward and naive and kind of innocent. And you see what I'm getting at?
Mm-hmm.
No thoughts on this at all? It just...
Well, I mean, you kind of covered it as far as anything I had to say. It's just, I mean, it's... In so many ways, James Gunn was not the guy for this movie. You know? Like, and writing, like, the style, the tone, like, how to write Superman. I mean, because he's admitted how to write Superman. And that it took a dog for him to be able to, really get a hold of Superman. Like, what?
And he didn't even really get a hold of Superman.
No. But, regardless, it just, yeah. I mean, he's not writing him in any sort of that Superman is. Like, there's always something missing with, and that's part of it, is that, like, the dudes in this movie are all kind of, I mean, Mr. Terrific, he's a pretty squared away guy, but other than that, like, Superman's
He
like
is
emotional.
the best character in this.
Yeah, I don't know.
As far as the innocence thing goes, there should be a little bit of that Kansas farm boy living
Yes.
in the big city kind of thing
Yes.
going on with Superman. But Superman, like you said, there's a difference between having that naivete and having Superman be a confident person. Sure, he may trust people a little more than he should, but he should be confident. He's Superman. He should be confident in his, I know that I'm going to do the right thing. What I'm doing now is the right thing.
In a contrast, when we get Batman, Bruce Wayne comes out of a world of just one of the worst metropolitan situations ever. Violence, crime, supervillains. And he's beaten down by a world where his parents died, and you have mass murderers and serial killers and just horrible people. And Bruce Wayne is a reflection of that. He is violent to fight the violence. He is angry. He is justice. He is vengeance. Superman comes out of a different world. He's not beat down by the world. He's hopeful for the world.
No.
Of what it can accomplish. In many ways, it was like the naive attitude of what America was. It wasn't Europe where it was beaten down by constant conflict and cynical, and it was the new world where America was hopeful and positive and trying to send ships into space and to land on the moon. It was that kind of, in many ways, naive, but hopeful. Superman is a reflection of the American spirit in many ways. He is hopeful. Even when it's not justified, he should be hopeful. Hopeful for the future. Hopeful what mankind could be, what it could become. That's why they call him the man of tomorrow, the man of the future.
Yeah.
He is supposed to be sort of the hope of what... It's like when people would make the Jetsons. It's like the Jetsons was like, oh, look at what could become. Our flying cars and the future. He is supposed to be the man of the future. And he's not in this movie. He's not very super. He loses a lot in this movie. He's arrested. He's beat up. He's constantly... We see a downtrodden Superman, not a triumphant, hopeful... good Superman. He's not very super, which sounds like a cliche, but we don't see a Superman. We see just not a very Superman.
Now, this can be an interesting way to tell a Superman story, but at the end of it, you have to have Superman triumphant. You have to have Superman rise from the ashes as still the hopeful big blue Boy Scout that he always was. You still have to, have him confirmed in his heroic ideals. You have to have him come through this fire and be the same man of tomorrow, that hope for everyone and
the hope for mankind
and the hope for the entire world.
I was talking to Silver. Do you know what? We get one scene that approaches this, that actually gets to almost the majesty of Superman. Because Superman, people should be in awe of the man, because they really try and humanize him. And it's like, yeah, but we also need to be like, whoa, it's Superman. And you get that once. Yeah. When he saves that woman, he catches a building in a weirdly physics illogical moment. He catches a building outside and and she has to drive out from under it, and she looks behind her, and you see Superman in this almost glorious visage of him sort of in the smoke, floating there, watching as she passes to make sure that she gets out okay.
Yeah.
Like, that's the best Superman moment in the whole movie. Not when he punches somebody, not when he has a fight, not when he's beat, none of that. The best moment was there. Where even after he does something amazing because he's a god, and you see him floating like this visage in the background, he's still watching to make sure she makes it out okay. Because that's who he is. That's Superman.
Yeah.
And we get that one scene where we see Superman. We actually see Superman. Not just they tell us who Superman is. We actually get to see it. I mean, there are moments when he saves people where you're like, oh, yeah, we're kind of getting to Superman, but we need a lot of that. A lot more, at the very least. I don't want to belabor this unless somebody has something to add to that. We can shift on. There's not a lot of movie left. We're getting to the end.
Yeah, we're getting to the end here.
So go ahead, Jason.
His dad gives him the pep talk, and he gets 2 phone calls. He gets one to go and stop the Boravia from taking over Jarhanpur again. And he gets a call from Mr. Terrific saying, hey, you need to get here immediately because there's a rift that's basically going to tear the entire world apart if you don't get over here to help me stop it. So, of course, he takes off to Metropolis to help Mr. Terrific, and we get the Jarhanpur scene where the remaining members of the Justice Gang and
we're skipping way ahead. We did miss the president of Jarhanpur in his stupid press conferences, which aren't that necessary to talk about. But he plays into the manipulation because we learn that Lex Luthor is manipulating things to help Boravia attack so that he can own half of the country because there's oil for some dumbass reason. It's like, if you can make pocket dimensions, you don't need the oil. I'm just saying. Why is this like a cliche gimmicky like, evil businessman? I want all of the oil of Jarhanpur.
It's like he has the power to have make portals. Like, if he has that kind of energy, like, what do you need oil for? Like,
but
he
it's
can
like
change the world.
It'll make him so much money. It's like, what shit does he give about making more money? Well, because he's an evil businessman and there's never enough money. It's like, but at no point do they establish in this movie he is motivated by money. It's just cliche that it assumes that he wants money. His whole motivation is he hates Superman in a weird, petty sort of way.
Yeah.
It's not that Superman's interrupting his plans. And he even explains at some point in the movie, he's not going after Superman to fulfill his plans in Jarhanpur. He did Jarhanpur to attack Superman because he hates Superman.
Yep.
He's not motivated by money. So I don't know why they're like, oh, evil businessman. It's like none of this is irrelevant. I assumed, as they're setting up this final scene where we have 2 big things that Superman has to deal with, I assumed in a Superman movie that this would create a sort of moral dilemma where Superman would have to figure out what was more important and how to do both and how to save everything and at the last minute pull something off because this is a triumphant overcoming moment for the character. I assumed that giving 2 obstacles that he can't do at the same time, that he would figure out a way to do both at the same time. I was wrong. Because that's how a natural superhero story would, you're giving an overcome an obstacle, but none of that occurs. He deals with one, and then he just calls the Justice Gang, who imply that they don't want to intervene in international situations, who just go anyway and intervene with Boravia invading Jarhanpur. And they just deal with it.
And this is where we get a lot of middle fingers.
Well, and you could have set it up where it's like Superman you don't have to do everything on your own. You can have friends, and kind of setting up the Justice League sort of thing. But they don't even apply
Would have been
that.
better.
They could have set
No.
that up that you don't have to do this alone. But they already set up that
That
he's
would have
kind
been
of
the perfect
working.
setup.
Yes, but they already set up that he's kind of working with them and he has a good relationship with them. And that calling them seems like a not that weird thing to do. It doesn't develop his character. It doesn't give him some sort of like, oh, I'm trying to solve these problems. I've got 2 problems and I have to figure it out. It doesn't fulfill a story of him realizing he doesn't have to do everything. He can rely on friends and other people. None of that's developed.
Yeah.
They just show up and beat up the army, and Guy Gardner gives a bunch of middle fingers to the tanks and the soldiers, and he even has that weird attitude of like, oh, well, Superman can't be here. The better one is here. And it's like, ugh.
Yeah, you got an upgrade.
Well, especially when they set it up, these people just worship Superman for saving him, and they've got his symbol and everything, and they're chanting Superman, Superman, and you don't even get to see Superman show up at all.
No.
You just keep
No.
you
You
get
expect
Deuce
Superman
Gardner,
to show up? Yeah.
and they imply Superman has gone too far in the actions he takes, and we watch Hawk Girl murder the president of Baravia.
Yeah, you know how it is. You just get a little bit angry.
Oh, and also we also forgot that Superman tortured the president of Baravia in a confusingly non-super
yes.
way by holding him against a cactus,
Yeah.
which is not something Superman would do. But, I'm insane. The movie's fun, guys. Turn your brain off.
Superman tortures people now.
He tortures. It's fine.
Yeah. When
Once
Hawk Girl
again,
goes in yeah,
A scout never lies, whatever. But yes, he did torture the president. And then, as much as crap as we give Superman for stuff he does, Hawkgirl kills the leader of a foreign nation.
yep.
Okay?
No repercussions. Doesn't
None.
matter.
None whatsoever. They intervene in a
fine.
foreign conflict. Nobody asks questions. Right thing to
When
do.
Superman does it, it's a bad thing. When anybody else in this movie does it, that's fine.
Hammer of Baravia, let's not forget that he exists. No one talks about him violating and invading America. But yeah, Superman does his thing, and he goes to deal with the rift in the ground, which we find out the only way to fix it is they have to hack it or put in a code or something.
Put in a computer code. That'll stop the ripping of the fabric of time and space.
I was like, what do you mean? It's going to zipper back together? Like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
It's such a cheap way
That's
to cause
exactly
mass
what we're
destruction.
talking about.
It's such a cheap way to cause mass destruction and also fix it easily. Like, Metropolis is fine. We even get a quirky scene at the end where they're staring at the crack and it's like, it doesn't line up. It's like, yeah, it wouldn't, would it? But yeah, he's got to go stop Lex Luthor, but he also has to fight Ultraman and the engineer is not remotely capable of fighting Superman. But they do have a fight, and I think it's Dodger Stadium. Metropolis Stadium, if you want.
So, yeah, Superman and Mr. Terrific go to try to stop the rift, and they get interrupted by Ultraman and the engineer, and Mr. Terrific is basically taken out right away. He's just out of the fight at that point. And then the engineer tries to flood Superman's lungs with her nanites so that he can't breathe,
yes.
and he just dies.
And
this is the weird thing. He just takes off.
Well, this
Flies
is
up
after
into
he got
space
kicked
with-
in the balls, by the way.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Another moment where you can't
because
have a moment breathe.
yes, because men get kicked in the balls because it's funny. It's funny.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
yeah, they have their big fist fight in. I mean, Ultraman, who was the Hammer Bravia, who could beat him easily before, and both of them he seems to do okay, but they're still doing the video gamey thing of Lex Luthor's like A1,
Yeah.
B2, punch him. It was an interesting way to hamstring Superman by putting the nanobots in his lungs. It feels like that wouldn't stop him. With everything I know about Superman,
you'd think that
he couldn't
you'd think
breathe
that
hard
someone with
enough
superhuman
to blow the nanobots out of his lungs.
Well,
He can
you'd
blow a
think that
black
someone with
hole.
human physiology, he would cough, and that would, with his increased strength, would blow those right out of his lungs.
He has
One
the
cough.
lung capacity to blow into a black hole. He can cough those things out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it's like, oh,
Uh-huh.
he's going to overcome this, and he flies off into space, and everybody assumes maybe he's going to fly into the sun, or he's going to do something to get rid of the bots or something. And then they jump on him to try and stop him because Lex Luthor's like, what is he doing? But his plan apparently is to spin around and go directly crash into the ground. That was Superman's clever plan to deal with.
Yeah, we all thought he was gonna like try and burn them off in the atmosphere into the sun, or
or his re-entry was so hot it would just wreck the nanobots or something.
Yeah, no, just
the heat
hit
from
ground hard.
friction.
Yeah, but if he was re-entering the atmosphere, even an object his size that's not accelerating would cause a massive crater. And it does not. He just breaks into the sewers.
Ugh.
and it's enough force to knock out the engineer and allow him to expel the nanobots.
Because she's no longer controlling him. It's like, well, if that's the case, just attack the engineer. Why are you... Like, I don't get it.
And this is where we find out that Ultraman, that all of us who have known about Superman before, that Ultraman is Superman.
Well, a clone.
In this case, Lex Luthor found a hair and cloned Superman.
So, Superman, who wanted to save a kaiju monster, doesn't suddenly have sympathy that there's another version of him there that he can help or whatever. They just have a beat out fight where they punch each other. And though I'm skipping to the end, he does let him fall into a black hole and die. And this is literally him. It's a clone of him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, nah, screw this guy. I'll save the kaiju monster. Yeah, clone of me, no. Ross, would you ever have sympathy for a clone of yourself?
Absolutely not. I would have to. I mean, listen, I have to fight other people named Ross like it's the Highland. There can be only one, let alone a clone. I mean, that guy's dead immediately.
Like, I gotta take out the one that's the biggest threat to me is my copy.
Exactly. And listen, I'm going to tell all of you right now, if you guys can't tell which
one is the real you?
Yeah, there's problems. I'm going to be real upset.
Well, all I know is Ross likes guns.
Likes guns.
Yeah, they have this fight.
So
there's this weird
Ross
moment.
That doesn't like guns.
There's this weird moment where Ultraman lasers Superman's eyes, and they just flat out say that Ultraman's stronger. He's dumber but stronger. But he lasers Superman's eyes, and it looks like Superman has pink eye.
Double pink eye.
Oh yeah.
Mega pink eye.
Not even Superman's immune to pink eye.
You know, there's some silly stuff that happens in comics. I could see that there's a villain or something that gives people pink eye. There was a
What's your mutant ability? I can give people pink eye.
There was a villain. So there was. This is weirdly off topic. There was this weird superhero team in Marvel whose name escapes me, where one of the heroes was a gay guy from like Colombia who has magic. He did like spells, like a wizard, and his villain, his like arch nemesis, was this weird guy that gave him AIDS.
Oh,
So it is possible in comics to have stupid stories like this. But yes, there was a gay superhero on a team who did magic, and he was Hispanic, and his villain gave him AIDS.
good. Now we all have AIDS.
It's like
AIDS.
I shoot Superman with the AIDS ray. Oh, I have AIDS now.
Oh, dang it.
I think they did that.
This is
in,
the one time in the movie that Crypto was actually useful for anything.
I think they did that in the Harley Quinn cartoon.
It's what
The really horrible one, where she shoots some guard with like a cancer ray, and it doesn't do anything. He's like, "Oh, I have cancer now. I have to go home and talk to my wife."
Oh, gosh.
She's like, "I'm sorry." But yeah, Crypto shows up and helps with the fight. Anything we're missing from the Ultra fight besides eventually he murders the clone?
Not really. I mean, Crypto takes out the camera drones that have been helping,
which
Luthor the
Superman
whole
could have
time.
dealt with easily at any point in this movie just by laser eyeing.
Yeah, why did he
the
just
drone.
laser eye those things?
Because
oh my gosh.
he can't control Ultraman if he doesn't have the drones.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you attack the drones? You can see them floating around as they're fighting. It's like, just shoot the drones, Superman.
It
You
took him that
know
long
he's
to even figure
controlling
that out.
him.
We have to have a redeeming moment for the super
The
dog.
crap dog.
This is the one moment when the dog actually is useful in the entire movie. It's like,
Because earlier he
Crypto, get the
attacked
toys.
Mr. Terrific's balls, the Terrific spheres or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
And so they prefaced that they laid the groundwork in the plot that he would attack the Lex Luthor drones. But eventually, since Lex Luthor doesn't control Ultraman, Superman can murder him and throw him into a black hole. And then Superman goes after Lex Luthor to stop the void that's going to murder everyone in Metropolis and eventually the planet. I like how Lex Luthor is like, this is going to destroy Metropolis. And he's like, we'll just go to a better city. All right.
Oh, okay. Gotham, here I come.
Bloodhaven.
Ah.
As soon as Superman starts taking off after Lex, he calls in the Raptors, and this is where we find out that there's more than just the handful that we saw initially. There's hundreds, who knows how many. And the one time in the movie Superman gets to cut loose and actually
be super,
have a fight and be super, yeah. And it's kind of stupid. I mean, the one dude that he punches in the face and knocks his teeth out, that was almost like this should have been a 3D movie. We should have seen those teeth coming right at us from the screen.
Well, and I kind of thought the Raptors were robots or something else, and they're just guys. So as he's lasering all of these guys, I was like, did he just kill a bunch of people? But then they try and like,
he cared so much.
Squirrel. For the squirrel, but then he's just trashing these guys, and they try and imply that it's fine, that as they're falling, I assume hundreds of feet, they fall into a pile, and they're like, ugh. And it's like, okay.
And he spins them off of him, and they probably just be like turned into goop inside the suits. Because Superman is that powerful. We finally actually see, but it's like he's laserizing all these guys. It's like, oh, he just murdered a bunch of normal people. Those are just dudes. No, they're fine. It's fine. And Crypto participates in the fight.
Walked it off.
because he can't just beat them on his own. Crypto has to sidekick him in this punch fest. But yeah, that's the only scene where he really actually does anything, where he's not getting the crap beat out of him and barely winning or mostly losing. Like even in the Ultraman fight, he doesn't really win. He's just beat up in the whole Ultraman fight, and then he just gets him kicked into a black hole because Crypto takes out the balls.
Basically gets him kicked into a black hole, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Ends the fight on a lucky punch kind of thing.
But he ends up in Lex Luthor's floating control center.
Man center.
And Lex Luthor actually tries to bail before anybody else can get out. And Superman shows up and just knocks him around. And it's funny, at least one of the tech bros is like, we need to stop it because this is terrible. Because we're killing everybody. Oh, by the way, did you notice something that they did to try and be like, oh, we're not Zack Snyder's Man of Steel, and the massive criticism we got from that? They magically were able to evacuate an entire city before anything happens.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
They evacuated all of Metropolis.
Because the big criticism with Man of Steel was it was just perpetual 9/11s with just people dying everywhere. Just buildings falling down, and there's just hundreds, if not thousands, of people in those buildings. They made sure you knew that city was evacuated in, I assume, 20 minutes. Like, they got out immediately. Yeah. And it's like, a city of that size would have taken most of a day.
They're gone. Yeah.
If not more. But we can't have perpetual 9/11s in a drag-out fight with Superman and Ultraman. That was the big criticism of Snyder's movie. Just the abject horror and genocide occurring across the screen. No, you know.
Yeah, so Superman and Mr. Terrific save the world because they get the code and they put it in the computer and it basically zips up, like you said.
That's how it works.
Well, we are missing
everything. It gets torn apart. It's smashed back together.
Yeah, smashed back together. Mr. Terrific was able to take care of the code, but Superman has this moment with Lex where Lex kind of falls apart and is angry with him, and he tells him like why he did everything. He's like, I didn't attack that country because I wanted it, and I was trying to get you out of the way. I did it so I could attack you because you're terrible, because you're an awful person, you're an alien, and you don't understand humans. And Superman is like, I am as human as you are. And you have this really good moment with Superman. He's like, I'm just a man trying to do good, and it's interrupted by Crypto beating the hell out of Lex Luthor. Because once again, we can't have a moment where it settles in and Superman explains that he doesn't think he's bigger or better than everybody else, that he's just a man trying to do good. And Crypto shows up and starts throwing Lex Luthor around the room.
Oh my gosh. It's the only good thing that dog did.
Yeah, well, you can't let a scene breathe. You can't let solemnity of a situation. He's given his little
don't
speech.
let any like growth or like tone like hang for a moment at least. No. Jokes.
We don't have
bad jokes.
We need to interrupt all serious moments with jokes.
Constantly. Absolutely. I'm James Gunn. I am Quirky Man.
I am Quirky Man, and I am James Gunn. Thoughts of this scene? This is important to the movie. It's just it's hard to be like, oh, we get another solemn scene that's interrupted with silliness. Like, it's a good kind of moment for Superman.
Yeah. It'd be nice if they let you have it.
I feel like that scene though, like, you know, he finally confronts Lex Luthor for the first time, and Luthor looks like a child who got caught with his hand in the cookie jar.
Yeah, a bit. Like, oh no, he found me.
It's that whole thing where none of what he was doing was he doing it because of anything more than petty jealousy. That we had talked about this before. We have Lex Luthor, who is a billionaire, who is the head of this multinational company that can probably cure cancer, world hunger, the climate crisis, whatever crisis you name, they could probably come up with a solution for it. And Lex Luthor uh, could be a superhero in his own right, just not Superman. But he could be. People would look up to Lex Luthor. They'd be like, "This is the guy who cured cancer. This is the guy who figured out the oil crisis and has given us clean energy and all this stuff." And yet, the only reason he was doing all of this was because he was pissed off that Superman can fly without like an airplane or a jetpack. He can just do it.
Well, they do this
That's
in the
so
comics.
stupid.
They do that.
Oh, and I know.
Well, in
I know, but in the comics, I would say it's done better.
In Red Sun, Superman's a bad guy who's propping up an evil, tyrannical Soviet dictatorship.
Right.
In contrast, Lex Luthor, because there's no Superman, he steps up to be the person that America needs. America is like the only place that doesn't fall under the Soviet heel. And Lex Luthor becomes this good man, almost the hero that America needs, where he solves problems and he crafts things and he builds things. And at some point by the end of the comic run, Superman regrets sort of what he's done or what's happened. And Lex Luthor steps up to replace Superman as the hopeful figure for the future. And it's almost like when given the opportunity, Lex could step up to being the person he needs to be, but he doesn't like that there's a better man.
Yeah.
And there is a better man.
And I get it that jealousy is a motivation of Lex Luthor's.
But it shouldn't be so obvious.
Yeah.
It should be hidden that he's really jealous, but at its face, it should be, I've got all these schemes and things I'm going to do and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
and then it's like at his core, he's jealous as opposed to, I don't like you.
I don't like it.
Superman, the jealousy needs to be so well hidden that even Lex Luthor doesn't realize that's his motivation behind it.
Right.
You know, for him, it's like, well, there's this alien, and I'm not sure of this guy. But it's almost like Wonder Woman needs to hit him with her lasso of truth in order to make him realize that at the heart of it all is that he's jealous.
That's happened in the comics.
Yeah, exactly.
But once again, it should be at the core of the character, but subtly underwritten everything he does, but not obvious. Yeah. And that's the problem with James Gunn. His stories are obvious. There's a lot of effort that's been made into trying to imply that the Baravia Jarhanpur thing is really an analog for Israel, Palestine, or Ukraine, Russia, or some other conflict. I'm going to tell you right now, it's too obvious to really represent any of those things, and this was written before those conflicts really happened.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't read into it, even though everybody wants to turn Superman into some Palestinian hero. None of that's true. It's really just as straightforward and simple because James Gunn is kind of obvious when he does things. There's not a lot of subtlety to his storytelling, at least that I've seen.
No.
It's really
not
just,
in this movie.
Yeah, it's really just as it's presented. We do get a scene where Superman, after saving everybody, meets up with Lois, and they have a little floating kiss scene. And I'm reminded of the fact that Lois was going to divorce this man, was going to break up with him.
Break up, yeah.
Superman. She was going to break up with Superman. Like, you could do better. Who's your next boyfriend that's going to be better than Superman? You can level up from this guy. He is the man. Like, no one's better than Superman. Unless you're just like, I like guys with blonde hair. then you're not going to do better than Superman. But you know, at least they have the little romantic thing. I thought Lois was actually pretty good. She seemed the strong,
Yeah.
feminine type. She didn't seem overly terrible, which they tend to do when they
Right.
write strong women characters.
Mm.
I thought, though Superman was poorly written, I thought he was acted well, and I actually found him to be a positive character, if not hopeful, because I didn't get the hopeful from this movie. And I know James Gunn, I've seen interviews where he talks about the movie, and he's like, I think we need more hopeful, positive characters. And you're right, James Gunn. Maybe you'll be able to understand Superman, and he doesn't. He doesn't understand Superman.
Mhm.
Lex Luthor is probably one of the worst parts of this movie for me. He's petty and childish,
Yeah.
I thought
stupid, and his plans
I thought
are dumb.
Nicholas
Holt.
Nicholas Holt did a good job in acting
With what he was given.
the direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, but once again, it's a Lex Luthor that has missed the mark. I think I liked this Lex Luthor better than I liked Jesse Eisenberg's version.
Oh,
That's what
okay.
I said.
Eisenberg sucks.
Uh-huh.
Nothing will match the Predator Kevin Spacey, though. Apex Predator.
Apex Predator. No other implication.
None. No, that's not an innuendo.
Just really quick, the movie's over flooded with extra characters that they
Oh my
don't develop
God.
or spend time
Right.
with. I know he likes ensemble casts. We don't need ensemble casts. It's about Superman. You do ensemble later.
Yeah.
And it just detracts from a lot of. They keep developing threads that they don't fulfill. The movie's just all over the place. It felt like it needed to be a little longer, and some of the scenes to be fleshed out a bit more. They need more guys. It's like you heard all of our criticisms. On reflection, I'm both more annoyed and less annoyed at the movie as I've walked through it. It's just not a great movie. It has a lot of problems, and it seems to be resonating decently well with audiences. It's doing all right, and general people seem to like it. Oddly enough, and I don't think it's really a normie movie. It's confusing. It's got problems. Freaking Crypto's the worst part of this movie. I hate the dog. I hate the dog. I hated
is
Crypto in the
terrible.
comics. He's stupid. He's a stupid character. I hate Crypto. Put him in a blender and serve him to Chinese people. And despite that, we do get a scene right at the end where we find out that Crypto is really his cousin's dog, Supergirl's dog.
Yeah.
And she shows up as perhaps the new worst character of all time, the drunk college girl who's just a terrible person and belligerent and drunk and calls Superman a bitch. While Crypto goes over and jumps on top of her, and she's giggling and laughing, and people thought it was a funny scene. And I would, if this was a real person, I would hate her so much. I hate that person. I hate that drunk college girl, just stupid bent sort of thing. I hate that person.
Mm-hmm.
And she's awful. And I was like, I don't want to see a Supergirl movie. What makes you want to? Well, and I've heard people be like, well, wait, because she'll realize that she needs to be more responsible and grow. I was like, no, I don't need absurd, drunk, stupid college girl discovering herself. This isn't Eat, Pray, Love, the superhero movie. like
Now,
the answer is no. The answer is no. I am out. I am out when it comes to a Supergirl movie. Not interested. I am out. You could do a good Supergirl movie. And from what I've heard, Supergirl in the series was actually done really well. If not the episodes by the later season were very woke, but apparently she was pretty good. And Supergirl also has a problem in her character where she's constantly trying to live up to her cousin, who is the perfect hero. And she's not the perfect hero.
Yeah.
But besides that, I hated that scene. I hated it. It undermined a lot of the movie too.
Yeah. It made me not like Supergirl. I mean, Supergirl in the comics is fine. The television show is whatever. I'd never watched any of it. Was never really interested in Supergirl. But at this point, it's like Yeah, I'm with you. Supergirl comes up. I'm gonna give it a miss. I don't even want to see this version of Supergirl.
Well, why don't we round out our thoughts on this movie? Silver, I want to start with you. Why don't you tell us about how you felt about the characters, the movie, yada yada.
Overall, I feel like the actors did really well. Like David Cornsweet, he did great. Nicholas Holt did great. Just that the characters weren't written correctly. I was surprised that it wasn't woke at all, and I loved that part of the movie.
Yeah.
Just that wasn't there, and we could, like you said, come here and complain about something other than politics.
Yes. We just
That's
talk about
very
a movie
refreshing.
if it's good.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I was very happy with that. Yeah, Lois was fine. Lex Luthor, too much of a baby. I needed more Superman doing Superman stuff.
I agree.
That's my biggest gripe.
God, you're so
He needed
needy.
more. He needed more, with Mom, Pa, Kent, but with them without the jokiness of their like, oh look, haha, they're elderly people who can't use a phone. Get rid of
Yeah.
that, please.
Yeah,
What
they're
they call
more
the TV in it?
they're more
They still
trashy.
call everything. Yeah. Just the redneck Ma, Pa, Kent.
And if you're going to make them rednecks, make them noble, kind, good people rednecks instead of just kind of doofy.
Yeah.
rednecks. You have to make them
I
kind
wanted
of
their. We talked about how at the beginning there should have been like a 5-minute kind of montage type thing showing all the heroic acts of Superman, so you get an idea of his character.
And
Still, so you're instilled with that before he starts out nearly dead.
Yeah. And his
But
relationship
even
with
just
his
throwing
parents.
in, yeah, I wanted more
Yeah.
relationship with his parents. Throw in some of that of when he was a kid, maybe some little blips of him remembering his dad saying like, "Protect people, son. You were given this gift," something like that.
Well, and you could do something really easy like maybe the neighbor farm is having problems and they go over it and young Clark Kent's complaining. He's like, why do we have to go do their work for them? And he's like, because it's the right thing to do and they need help.
Yeah,
And just give us indications that there's values instilled in this man that he would carry on to be one of the greatest heroes of all time.
yeah, that he got
And-
from his Earth parents. If you're gonna make his Kryptonian parents be so
Yeah, if you're gonna
terrible.
dirty up his Kryptonian parents, yeah, we need to have like you said, we need to have those values instilled in him from some other source. We need to see that, not just imply it.
Anyway, any other thoughts, Silver?
I think that's it.
All right, Ross, what do you think?
I hated this movie.
Yeah, you did.
I
I want to hear
have-
your rage instead of your bemuse, like, ugh.
well,
that.
this goddamn movie wouldn't let you have any moments with it. It refused to let you to care, to like sit on a moment of like seriousness or growth or any sort of a like serious tone, because it had to just like blow a raspberry right in your face. And just
Comedy.
every time, yeah, with a bad joke, a really bad joke. Like, the comedy in this show, it's bad, just outright, or it's completely misplaced in a movie that it shouldn't be in. I mean, that bit with the interdimensional eyeball in the background, like, that would be fine in another movie. But here we are stuck with it in a Superman movie while he's having a serious with Lois Lane.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Everything about this movie, between the completely what would be the word? Like unrealized, like power levels. Like we're like, what are Superman's powers? Like it's just plot armor of the movie, and it's everything I fucking hate about Superman. Everything, and none of the charm.
Yes.
Not 1 ounce of it. Very little of it. And that's not Cornsweat's fault. He seems like he's a really nice guy. He seems like he'd great because there's one moment. It's actually in the post-credit scene, which I hated that scene, except for when he goes, "Oh man, I'm such a jerk sometimes." Like like that. More of that. Where's that? Where the fuck's that Clark Kent? Not in this movie. 2 seconds. He's in there for 2 seconds at the very end. After we saw him holding his goddamn dog in space on the moon. Great. That's what I wanted to see. After hearing Iggy Pop, like, oh my god.
Which I don't want to derail you giving your final thoughts, and we didn't talk about it at all. This has probably got one of the worst soundtracks I've ever heard in a movie.
Yeah.
It's so bad. There's the really muffled, like, kind of dour version of the John Williams score in there. But other than that, there's nothing in there that's worthwhile.
No.
And I like that Iggy Pop song. I forget the name of the band that he's singing with. But, like, I like that song. Not for
the
these
end of
credits.
Credits of a Superman movie.
Not for these credits. It's like a song that you'd hear in, like, a mid-2000s, like, boner comedy credits.
Yes.
Like, what the fuck?
The music sucks in this movie.
It's so bad.
And
it's so...
By the way,
forgettable.
Music is an emotional key. It can tell you how to feel, how to view scenes. It's important. Music can be used as an important tool for storytelling. The music that we got for John Williams in the classic 78 Superman is triumphant. And it's a man that can fly. Look at what he is doing amazing, mind-blowing feats. He's stopping wars. He's stopping trains. He's saving people. It's triumphant. It's hopeful. It's over the... this is the sort of music you get from Superman. And instead we get that score and a weird, solemn, like... It's like, oh God. Oh, you're ruining it. You're ruining Superman's theme. Oh, stop. And then instead of getting it really at the end, like they could have been like, he's not quite there yet. And at the end, we finally get it. Like the trumpets blare in at the end, but we didn't even get that.
No.
We didn't get in the credit scene. We got Iggy Pop. This isn't Spider-Man quirky going to high school. Sorry, Ross.
No, you're good. As much. All right. So last year, we went and watched Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah,
a movie that is admittedly pointless.
Rife with problems.
Yeah, it's Cameo the movie. But you know what it does?
Silly.
It sticks to the tone it wants to set. And when it has serious moments in it, it lets you breathe. Despite the fact it's a stupid, like, comedy, like, cameo movie. Like...
And it's fun.
Yes! The fucking third Deadpool movie does seriousness better than Superman. What the fuck?
And Deadpool breaks the fourth wall and looks at the camera and says chimichanga.
Yes!
Yes.
You see Deadpool's package, like his junk, like up close in that movie. And it has better serious moments than Superman next year. What the fuck? It's just like I said, this is everything I hate about like modern like cape shit, like nerd culture. Fucking hated it, and which is irritating because it's so much of this movie is done well, particularly the casting. It's done really well, and it's wasted. It's wasted on this movie. It's just so bad. I know a lot of people complain about the fisheye with the flying.
Uh-huh.
It's not great. It's not the worst thing in this movie. I thought it looked way worse in the trailers.
If I was complaining about the fisheye, then this movie did pretty well for that to be really a problem for me.
Yeah. I don't get how people like this movie. I mean, is it like kind of like Aquaman from a few years ago where it's just stupid fun and people just, oh, okay.
Well, like I referenced before, EFAP did a 7-hour, like they criticize, I'm not saying or endorsing these guys or anything. I like them, but they did this big 7-hour thing, and that review got so much flack on the internet, on Reddit, and everywhere of people who like their content, who are just angry that they got the movie wrong. It's actually a good movie. This, and this. A lot of people are responding of, well, one of the biggest flaws you had when reviewing it is you didn't talk about how the movie was fun. I was like, what fun did you get out of Superman?
Yeah, I mean, honestly.
The badly timed jokes, the inappropriate scene stealing moments, the tonally inconsistent film, the all over the place, the rushed from moment to moment, pacing, the bad music. What was fun that you got out of this film? Except for the fact that Superman isn't depressed. He's a nice guy. He's not hopeful. He's not triumphant, but he's a nice guy. I mean,
it's better. It's better than, I don't know. I haven't seen. I think I've seen the '78 Superman when I was a kid.
Yeah,
I have not seen
Same
Man of
here.
Steel or Batman vs Superman. I haven't seen it. So like,
Unfortunately, I have.
but to me, like that was such a bigger miss than this. This is just, as a movie, it's worse. Does that make sense?
sure.
Like
Yeah.
this could be about any character be irritating to some degree. I don't know. This is everything I hate about superhero movies, just personified. And that's kind of like the one sentence sum up I can have is that. Like it irritated me so much, and I don't get how James Gunn has. I mean, if this is the best he's doing, because I've only seen the first Guardians of the Galaxy, so I shudder to think what those last. God damn, what a piece of crap this is.
Jason, what are you thinking? Let's finish us off here.
I agree with a lot of the points that have been mentioned so far. The casting, I thought that they chose excellent actors. That they were that their parts were miswritten. The pacing of the movie was poor. The organization and story of the movie was crap. You didn't know from scene to scene what was going on. You know what I mean? It was like we have this scene. Did this scene happen before or after? What is the consequence of this scene? What are they trying to tell me in this scene? There were only a couple of times where the superheroes got to shine in this movie, and it's supposed to be a superhero movie. The superheroes should be shining the whole time. That should be why we're here. I did feel that because we got the tone was closer to what Superman actually is, that elevated it above the Snyder versions. But I mentioned this before. This almost seemed like they were caught up in the spectacle, and so they were
Instead of worried about
trying
the plot or the how-to sort of thing. Yeah, I could see that. That's
I
a good
mean,
point.
it seemed much more style than substance to me, that they were trying to go for big blockbuster set pieces and stuff. I mean, we had this superhero fight with a kaiju that could have been amazing, but it was really kind of a letdown.
Yeah, it's that's it.
I mean,
if I were to rephrase your very good point, is it's not a good Superman movie, it's a good Superman spectacle. Like they just wanted a Superman spectacle.
Yeah. and Superman at the end, it's like I said, this could have been a movie where, Superman is doubting himself and he's going through the fire, but he needed to, at the end, pull his crap together and just stomp Ultraman and then go on to save the world. That's what needed to happen, not just some lucky punch and Ultraman gets tossed into a black hole at the last second.
Well,
No,
and
he needed to just
He doesn't
Go for it.
overcome any of his obstacles. Just to add to your point,
No, he doesn't.
the dog helps defeat Ultraman so that he can defeat him, and the Justice Gang solves the problem with Bravia. Like, he doesn't solve his problems. He gets help to solve the problems.
And I don't mind if, like, Superman is, needs a little bit of help. It's like, Crypto takes out the cameras, so Ultraman isn't getting help from Lex Luthor anymore to call Superman's moves, and then Superman just pummels him into the dirt. That would at least have been superheroing for Superman at that point. It would have been like, okay, there was an obstacle here. Yes, Crypto helped me overcome it. I still have to beat Ultraman. Not just get in a lucky punch where he gets hit by a bus and gets tossed into the black hole.
I
It needs to
100%.
be
I just
Superman standing triumphant over Ultraman, who's lying defeated at his feet.
thought of a
And
way
so-
you could have included everything that happened in this movie. So he's fighting Ultraman, and Crypto's there, and Lex Luthor's giving the commands, and Superman can
Mhm.
hear him. So Superman goes, "That camera," and then he takes him out so that he can hear what Lex Luthor's doing, so he can direct the dog to get rid of certain cameras so that he can get an attack in, sort of thing.
Yeah.
That way, it's like, oh, Superman could hear him, and it's like, oh no, he's one-upping everybody. It's like, and he can direct the dog, so he is at least steering the direction of the fight, as opposed to the dog shows up and it's just like,
Yeah,
I'm going to save you.
Would have been
Yeah, well, I mean, and there are probably 1,000 ways we could have rewritten this to make it be more
true.
reasonable and make sense. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go.
But to me, this movie, the most damning thing I can say about it is that it was boring. This is a superhero movie. It should be a spectacle, but it should have some depth behind it, so that I'm not bored out of my mind just thinking, well, what's going on here? Why are they doing this?
The pace was probably meant
You know,
to stop you from being bored and thinking about the plot for 5 seconds.
Probably. But yeah, when we were doing the podcast the other day, I told you, I looked at the door and thought, we can just walk out.
Like, well, I don't have to finish this, except for the fact I'm going to make you because we have to talk about it.
That's one of the things. I am not a person who, if I start watching a show or I start reading a book or something like that, and I find myself disinterested in it, if I feel that it's not going anywhere or I feel bored, I can put it away and never come back to it, and I will do that. And this is one of the ones where I was just like, I could go home right now and not care about how this movie ends. And that, to me, is the most damning thing I can say about it, that it did not hold my interest at all.
Like a distracted puppy, Jason was looking for other things to do. Well said. I mean, I could do the cliche that everybody else on the internet is doing, all the nerd crew, where they're like, I really wanted this to be a good Superman, and I was just disappointed. I mean, I'm going to tell you right now.
I think we all are.
Well, yeah, but I actually really like Superman as a character. I really want a good Superman movie. I was skeptical, and I was actually considering the indications coming in this film that I was going to have problems with it. I didn't think I would hate it or dislike it, at least as Ross hates it. I didn't think I would dislike it as much as I did. I thought it'd be pretty good, but it has some problems. No, it's a mess. It is a mess of a film. It's got problems all up and down. It's worse than I thought it was going to be. Much. Especially with my downplayed reasonable perspective on the thing, because the Guardians of the Galaxy movies are really well done. The Suicide Squad movie is really well done, and it's fun. James Gunn apparently lacks the capacity to write anything that's not quirky or weird or you know. And I see it. I can see it in this movie. And James Gunn, I mean, he talks about the character in ways which makes me think that it might turn out, but it didn't turn out. Unfortunately, it did turn out.
Yeah.
But it didn't fail enough that we're not going to get a sequel.
Yeah.
It succeeded enough that this is going to move on to another one. And hopefully they're able to understand what didn't work in this movie and give us another one. But this isn't the triumphant movie that people were hoping for. And it's not the failure that people were hoping for. It's just kind of there. It's apparently performing slightly under Man of Steel, much to the chagrin of all of the Zack Snyder people.
I bet they're going to love that.
Because as long as it doesn't outperform Man of Steel, they were going to be happy. Will this have legs like Guardians of the Galaxy 3, where suddenly down the line more and more people see it? I would be surprised. But whether it succeeds or not sort of stands beside the fact of whether or not it's any good movie. And you can have your different perspectives. You can get something out of it we didn't get out of it. Or you can, maybe your eyes glaze over slightly and you can wave off flaws that exist in the plot that you even might recognize that are problems. But it's less important as, well, it's a Superman movie. It's silly. It's fun. You're supposed to have fun. And that's great. And actually, I do appreciate the idea of people who can shut off their brains and get into these sorts of things. I, however, lack the capacity to not be critical when I'm watching something. I constantly ask, like, why are they doing that? That's kind of weird, or that's dumb, or whatever. I wanted more out of a Superman movie. And even with very low expectations or low like of the character, they didn't even fulfill Ross's expectations of what he expects from a Superman. Hopefully they could do more down the road. But did anyone change their score? Or are we still maintaining what we had before? I think I had a 5. I might still stick with a 5. It's meh to bad. There's some good moments, mostly bad or dumb.
Yeah.
I would say mine's probably right around a 5. Hovering at like.
It's not a passing grade, but you know.
No.
Yeah, mine, like, if you like cape stuff, you'll probably like it. Like guys. But there might be something you'll enjoy. But if you don't, be like me. It's like a 3 or a 2.
Uh-huh.
It's irritating and stupid.
I'm enraged.
Damn
I'll
right.
give it a 5.5.
Ooh, a little more positive than the rest of us, the hopeful young, the youth.
It gets a half point for making me incredibly happy that I hate it so much for some reason other than politics.
There you go. Love it. But I think that's turned out to be a fun discussion. And if you enjoy Media Illiterate, subscribe, show up, blah, blah, blah. This is attached to a whole channel where we talk about, big pop culture news every week in a podcast. If you want to listen to that, feel free to. Or if you're only here for the movie reviews, completely understandable. And if at any point Media Illiterate blows up on its own as being more popular, it'll be separated from the rest of the channel. But we appreciate you coming along. Feel free, even if you like the movie, you're like, I disagree with this point, feel free to say so. No one's here to say that your opinions are wrong, because that's what opinions are. Now, you would be wrong if you claimed that the plot implied something it didn't, or that Jor-El is not a horrible person now. And if you're coping with the idea that they're going to change it in the next movie, they're not. And James Gunn said he changed it. But if your opinion says I like it, then who can argue that you just like something, even if there's weird stuff in it? Or like, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. All of the generic
If
stuff.
you have I was going to say, if you have an opinion that's different than ours, and you can back it up, please do so. It's like we may even read your opinion on the show.
I probably
it's
will.
fine with us if you like the movie. Just tell us why. What was it about the movie that you enjoyed that we missed?
The point of these things is having a reasonable, reasoned discussion, being critical of film or whatever else we tend to consume, and being media illiterate. Because, if you're trying to claim that we think we're smart, we're not, because we have the excuse that we call it media illiterate. At any rate, we appreciate everybody coming along. It's been a fun discussion. I'm going to say goodbye. Goodbye, everybody.
Thanks for coming, everybody.
Later.
I'm just going to let it sit for a while so it doesn't cut off the end of this video.